From downtown, this is Tim Kitzer from NBA Jam, and you're listening to NintenDomain Podcast. Boom shakalaka!
This week in NintenDomain, we have Shake here to talk about his favorite games of 2023. Plus, I finally got to play a game that I should have played a long time ago.
There's only one room for one Minecraft like in this town.
Welcome to NintenDomain Podcast, episode 402. Your place to hear Nintendo fans talk about Nintendo games and Nintendo, best of Nintendo stuff. And we're continuing our countdown to our own best games of the year with our guest this week, Shake. What's up, Shake? How you doing?
What's the dilly? I'm doing well. Happy to be back on. I'm in good company.
It's good to see you.
Happy to see you.
Yeah. It's been a little bit. Wagglefest Gaming hasn't had an upload in about 2 months, but and there's lots of stuff that I wanted to get up. But yeah,
we've been waiting.
I'm happy to.
And we're your hosts. I'm Trey, Battle for the Bottom Johnson.
I'm Jeremy. Does this game ever end? But kind of don't want it to end. Mikowski.
It's long. Yeah, Shake, and a special guest, Shake, as we said earlier. We accidentally introduced you before us, but it's fine. People know the way this show works.
How dare us put someone before us?
Yeah, Wagglefest. I haven't seen a video for a while on there. I understand, get busy.
You went to the woods to a cabin to come up with new ideas, like what's his face did when he wrote that album, Bon Iver, and I think Bruce Springsteen did that too once.
Yeah, I went to the woods. I did ayahuasca. You know what I mean?
Nice.
I'm back.
And it's weird, but it's great.
Too funny.
Yeah, it can be like that. Like I remember posting a lot on YouTube when I was like getting excited about it, and then you like can burn yourself out, or life can happen. It's usually how it goes.
Or you can just get incredibly busy with other things like podcasts.
Well, that's life, right?
Yeah, man. It's funny, man. Getting into content creation in that way, I didn't anticipate how time consuming it was. And I love it. Like I still have a ton of ideas. I have videos that I haven't posted. Some of them just like, oh my gosh, is this still even relevant? But I kind of feel like I'm at a point where I'm just like, put it up.
Yeah.
Hope get back to a point of consistency the way I was like in the summer and early fall. But stuff coming. I got a new amiibo to show off. Nice. I want to talk about new amiibo.
Oh yeah, you got I think we got the same one, right? You got this guy over here, wherever he is, the Splatoon ones.
Yes.
Yeah.
The real tall guy.
Yeah, the big man and the other two. I don't remember their names.
In fact, I even today in the mail came my Nintendo ornament from Club Nintendo.
Oh shit! Physical reward.
Nintendo. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Is it a patch? What is it? Oh, 2024 calendar we got here.
The calendar.
Cool. Is it Animal Crossing?
The calendar typically has like all of their main properties.
Oh, okay.
So it's each month has something. I didn't even open this one up. And I always do. I exhaust my silver coins all the damn time. So I've got all sorts of junk and posters and on Nintendo.
I've been exhausting them over new icons now for the Nintendo Switch Online because you can use them.
I haven't figured out how to do that.
To buy the different. You just go to the app on the corner and you just pick. You just hit A and it'll buy it on the system. And you can change. You have to change them through there too. That's kind of that's the tricky part. Is that if you want to change your icon, you have to do it within the new Nintendo Switch Online app, the little red square that's on the bottom of the screen now, on the bottom left screen. You go in there and there's I think on the top corner it shows your icon, and you hit plus or something, and you can only make You can only make backgrounds they have to be specific to each game. So like if you have a bunch of Animal Crossing ones, you can't like have a Mario one with an Animal Crossing background or whatever. They all have to be in the same game. But yeah, I go crazy for that stuff. Like whenever, and they do new ones. I know there's Christmas ones on there now, and they did a bunch of Wonder ones, and they did WarioWare ones, and
I entered a bunch of sweepstakes. That's the last thing I did.
They did a bunch of shit.
Sweepstakes out.
But I jump, I'll jump on there and I use all my silver coins with that, and yeah, it's and you get stuff for doing things too. Like you get points for playing games that have online service, or it'll be like play Wario on Game Boy Advance or whatever. It'll be like play a game on Nintendo Switch Online. You get extra points for that. Or whenever they do like the trials, whenever they do like the game trials, you get extra points for doing that too. So it's kind of like its own kind of little sort of achievement thing, but really, really small, But yeah, they give you points for playing games every week, and they give you points for playing specific games and all that.
Those are the days.
So that's why I do it, because I'll end up using all my coins, because I try to, because a lot of them are only there for a certain amount of time, so they'll go away. So it's like, I gotta get them now in case I decide that I need to use that fucking dog guy from Animal Crossing as my icon at some point, which I probably never will. But
it's funny to share that. I am on it right now, and I've been trying to collect, like, because I'm such a. It's funny. I'm going to say the completionist, and we know how that is completely marred in controversy. But
right. Yeah, got removed from Sea of Stars. Even the game, they took him out of the game. I honestly didn't. That's how I heard about it. I didn't know anything about what was going on for that, but I heard that he had a cameo in there, which has been removed now. So for anybody like me who hasn't played the game yet, now when you play it, you won't see his character in there. You'll see somebody else.
Yeah,
so
it's wild. But I was going to say that I have tried to collect the icons for certain games. So I collected all of them for Breath of the Wild. No, not for Tears of the Kingdom.
Oh, sure. Yeah, I got all the Xenoblade ones. Well, I got most of them. I actually missed out on Uni, who was like my favorite character of the whole thing, and I'm so pissed about that. But I didn't. But they had like this chibi version of her, and I wanted like the real Uni, but we never got that. So I was kind of pissed.
They just added new ones for Mario Wonder.
I was gonna say they put them up. Yeah, they put them up like every week. Or I know there's Mario Christmas ones on there too.
Yeah, I had seen those. I passed on those.
As I was gonna say, I can show you how to do it right here. It's just this little red thing on the bottom, Jeremy.
Oh, the screen looks nice even on that webcam.
I'll see. It probably looks too bright because the OLED and all
looks
that.
Super bright now.
But yeah, it's just down on the bottom. Missions. You just go to missions and rewards, and then it'll show you. And that's
I was trying to do it through my cell phone.
That's where all the icons are. And yeah, there's a whole bunch of new Wonder ones that I haven't seen before. Just showed up, and they're available till January 8th. Oh, there's some Pokemon ones also. New Pokemon ones because of the DLC, Animal Crossing. And at the top here where the icon is, if you click it, that's how you make your new icon or whatever. I'm still rocking 18 volt from WarioWare, so I still got that one going.
Got it.
But yeah, but speaking of Wagglefest videos, are you gonna do are you planning on doing like a best of video or anything like that for your channel?
Yeah, I would like to before the new year. I think that this was a banner year for Nintendo.
So many games.
Like so many incredible games. I feel like starting off the year with Engage.
Yeah, definitely. Like I said, I wanted to have you on here because I was interested, and I'm sure all the viewers were as well. Want to know what your favorite games are for this year. So yeah, go for it. If you want to go through the whole year, however you want to do it. If you want to do a top 10, whatever you want to do, just lay it on me.
Listen, there were so many incredible games. Now you got me looking at my Switch screen. Incredible games that came out this year. I mean, listen, we started off the year with Engage in January. In February, we got hit with the Metroid Prime Remaster, which was gorgeous. Incredible. I haven't played it to completion, but that was super fun.
Oh yeah, that definitely stole my I was what was I? I was playing Persona 4 because Persona 4 Golden was on there, which that was the Vita game that was always the reason that I wanted to buy a PS Vita because of Persona 4 Golden, because that's all it was on. And they finally released it for Switch, and I was like, all right, amazing. So I played Persona 4 before the PlayStation 2 version on PS3, And I was like, I'm going to play this game. And I, whenever I get a game that I already have, I try to play through at least farther than I've ever been before. And I was the farthest I'd ever gotten. And then there was that Nintendo Direct with the Metroid Prime on it. And I was like, oops, sorry, Persona. And then I've never played it ever since. I even said it on this show. But yeah, I love Metroid Prime. It's one of my favorite games of all time. And I finally got to 100% completion on that game. I've never done 100%. So I got the special ending.
Oh, so you scanned everything. That's amazing.
No, I didn't scan everything. I got all the items. I got 100% of the items. Okay. I didn't scan everything. I'm not that crazy. That's
so you get all the energy tanks and.
But yeah, in order, so there's different endings depending on how much you collect. Whereas the older Metroid games, it was all based on the time. You know how you got through, like whether you saw Samus in a bikini or whatnot. But this one was like. It depends on your percentage. So if you get like over 75%, you get a different ending, or if you get 100%, you get a different ending. And I knew what it was, but I've never actually gotten to the 100% ending. So I did get to it finally. And yeah, it's just basically collecting all the missiles and the bombs and the energy tanks and that sort of thing. Not the scans. I didn't do all the scans because I know because there's like ones at the beginning. If you don't do them, you'll never get them, and blah blah. I just wanted to get 100% of items. And I did, and I saw the ending and all that. But no, it was an incredible game.
Yeah, man. I need to play through it. The revisiting the game was really special. I remember just playing that on my GameCube, and it was funny. I feel like I remember getting Metroid Prime on GameCube with what was it? True Crime came out same time.
Yeah.
I think Resident
I had that game.
I got all of those.
Yeah, I didn't get them at the same time, but I did. Yeah, was it True Crime Streets in New York? I thought there was a couple of them, but yeah, no, I remember. Yes. I remember I got one of them because I was, I wanted to have a GTA style game on GameCube and all that. And yeah, I ended up taking it back, and I traded it in for Prince of Persia: Sands of Time, which I loved that game, so I didn't feel bad about it. Because they had a deal, they had some sort of deal going on. If you traded in, you got like more towards it or whatever. And I got it practically for free. And yeah, I traded in for Prince of Persia: Sands of Time. And then I ended up trading that in for some other stupid thing. And that bothers me still to this day because I would love to play that first one again. And it was supposed to get a re-release and it never did. So yeah, I love that. And I never played the other two. I never played Warrior Within or whatever, or the third one or whatever. But love that first Prince of Persia.
Yeah, man. Listen, the Prince of Persia games were incredible. The first one was really dope. Warrior Within, it kind of lost its way to me. Was that the one that went like super heavy metal? And then the third
kind of metal.
Yeah, I heard it got real edgy or dark or whatever.
It was like bad heavy metal too.
Yeah, I think they course corrected with the third one. I remember enjoying the third one, and not as much as Sands of Time, but it was just kind of like a better sequel. But yeah, what have I been playing? Like, oh my gosh, I'm literally scrolling through my what I can share with you guys is that I did my Nintendo review, my Nintendo wrap up.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
yeah,
nice.
yeah.
Let's hear it.
Yeah, what's on there?
And the game that I invested the most time in was no surprise, AEW Fight Forever.
Yes.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, we haven't even talked about season 2 yet, which is still not on Switch yet. It's supposed to be here next week, supposedly. That's what they're saying. Yeah, listen, not happy about that.
And at this point, I'm so like the community at large and the community manager. I don't have anything against the community manager, but I did see in the Discord that they were like, "Oh, it's because of Nintendo," and I'm like, "No, it's not." I'm like, Nintendo is not holding up the release of this freaking DLC.
I don't think they're involved in it. Yeah.
Listen, the day the DLC came out, right, on a Discord, and I'm sorry that we're going off on this tangent about AEW, but it's like one of the most frustrating points. Like, and I feel like as a Nintendo gamer, as a wrestling fan, and a game that is meant to be like the spiritual successor to these AKI games that were beloved on Nintendo consoles. But anyway, the community manager is like, "Oh, it's Nintendo holding it up." And I'm like, I call bullshit. And one, because the day the DLC came out, AEW Games was sending people promotional emails that already had the release date for the Switch is December 27th.
Yeah.
But when you just kind of look at like how updates and stuff have rolled out for other games. I know you talked about Mortal Kombat 1. that game got like panned just for the performance, but I know that Warner Brothers rolled out a freaking update like literally the next week.
Oh yeah, we can actually. I mean, that is on my list if of stuff that I played. Just because they just rolled out an update for Mortal Kombat 1 on Switch, and it actually works pretty good now. Like, I bought it later, like after they had updated it, and the big problem for me was the load times. And I played it the other day with the new update just to try it. And the original load times that I was getting around like 30 seconds, 40 seconds, in the invasion mode. And now I'm getting like 15 seconds, 20 seconds for the load time. So they cut them in half, and I feel like they've done a lot. Yeah. Comparing that to, they have done a lot of Mortal Kombat 1 to make it better on Switch. Like you don't really see the bug-eyed Johnny Cage or whatever, all that shit that people said when it came out, and I would actually recommend it to people if they want to check it out on Switch. I think it's totally it's a perfectly cromulent game. Just give it a try. Try it out there. It was fun for me. I enjoyed the story mode. It was a good time. So they fixed a lot of the shit that was wrong with it.
Well, I remember reading that if it weren't the next week, like within 2 weeks, they released a patch for the game to kind of fix some of the performance issues that was showing up on the Switch initially. So, as it relates to the AEW and Nintendo holding it up, it's like, that's a load of fucking crock. Please excuse my French. But when it comes to games that I enjoyed this year, or even my Nintendo wrap up, it was AEW Fight Forever, Tears of the Kingdom, which honestly, it's one of my favorite gaming experiences ever.
I'm gonna have to agree.
Like, so much about that game was like just expansive, but also accessible in ways that I couldn't have imagined. The fact that like everything in that game was in some way interactive, could have been melded together, and you just build contraptions, and the fact that they made it so easy and just how innovative it was. I've never found a building mechanic in a game that felt so fun, that kind of just disrupted the way I thought about the game. Like, I remember getting to the second dungeon, and like being like, nah, I'm not going through this in a conventional way that they want. And I was just like, I am going to like just fly around, because I don't have the patience or the wherewithal to kind of figure out how to get all of these mine carts to go where they need to go at this time. I'm just gonna create my hoverboard and I'm off.
I hated that whatever the minecart dungeon. Hated that one.
Yeah, I mean, but I love the puzzles, everything about it, the ending, the story, like collecting the tears was so much fun to me. I felt like the story was much more focused than Breath of the Wild, and I love those cutscenes. I was invested in the characters. And when I just even just perusing the internet and seeing what people were doing in terms of like the builds that they were making. Also, like, I remember GameSpot did this crazy advanced what was it? Technique on like just fighting and combat techniques. And I was like, how in the world are they doing this? Like, it was wild. It looked like Devil May Cry 5. Like, dudes were like, launching enemies and throwing bombs. But I say all of that to say that like Tears of the Kingdom, far and away one of the most memorable experiences I've had in gaming ever. Definitely one of my personal favorites. I like that. That's up there with like the Street Fighter 2s of the world. Games that like impact and inform like my whole idea of gaming at large. The other game that was on my top 3 for my Nintendo wrap-up was actually Monster Hunter Sunbreak. I played a lot of Sunbreak. And that was also really dope, because I think that like they kept updating the game, and it was for a full year. We got updates to Sunbreak well into the summer. So they supported the game from summer 2022 all the way until 2023. And they even gave us an additional update with a whole new monster, which was super dope, continued the story. So I invested a lot of time in that. What else did I get this year? I enjoyed Horizon Chase 2. Love racing games. Super Mario Wonder. Here is a hot take. And I 100%ed Mario Wonder in that last stage, that last badge.
Oh, you 100% of it?
Bro,
I
to
did
get
too.
all of the medals, that was so hard. And maybe this is spoiler territory for those of you who have not played it, might be getting it for the holiday, whatever the case may be. You know that there are badges. All I will say is that the very last badge, which is needed to get to 100% completion, is infuriating in ways that I can't explain. You might break a pro controller, you might break a Joy-Con. Yo, it's wild.
Don't break your controllers. They're expensive.
I thought I would be stuck on it a lot longer than I was, but it took me a couple of days of like just playing it all the time when I could.
Yeah.
Probably hundreds and hundreds of tries.
I stopped throwing controllers once I had to pay for them myself. So when I was buying my own controllers, I'm like, don't break them.
You might just break it from like running it ragged. Like,
Well, yeah, aside from just like
but I was using my
overuse.
new Hall effect joystick, so it would be okay.
Yeah, shout out to the Hall Effects joysticks.
Oh yeah, because you got the new the new
8-bit
8-bit Dome. Yeah, I got the old.
Wait, the 8-bit controllers have the Hall Effects?
The newest model does.
The
Yeah.
new ones do, right?
Oh, I may invest in one.
Now they're really small, so like
Mine's not in here. But
co-host
yeah.
John doesn't really like it because he has really big hands, and even I like it took a while for me to adjust to it because it is really small, but eventually I was just like, well, this just works.
I didn't like that they went away from the original design because the original design of the pros of the 8-bit Do Pros was basically the Super Nintendo controller, but with analog sticks and like handles, which I think is the best design of all time. So they kind of made it more like the Xbox controllers,
It's
which
pretty
I
much
don't,
like the Xbox,
which I really don't care about. So now it has like the more isometric joysticks and all that, which I guess some people like that, but
as the extra third buttons.
that's
at
the back ones.
bottom,
Well, mine does too. The Pro 2, the Pro 2.0
and then there's
has
like
the
an app
has the
where you
back
can
buttons.
set all your buttons like in the app on your phone and stuff.
Yeah, that's the same. The button, the controller before that had that as well. The 2.0 did. So and it has like different. You can set up different settings, and there's a button. Like every time that Joe and I play Stadium Stampede online, like whenever we stream it, I just hit a button on my Pro controller that automatically inverts the aiming because you can't invert the aiming on Stadium Stampede. But it's in the game. It's in the controller. So all I have to do is hit a button and boom, it's inverted. I don't have to get on the app or anything. It saves your settings, and there's a little button on the bottom, and there's a light that'll light up that'll show like what setting you're on or whatever.
Oh, that's what that's for. Yeah, I don't use that.
There was the same thing for what was it? Shin Megami Tensei 3, the Nocturne one or whatever that came out. There was a part where you had to like fly through this tunnel, and if you pressed up was up and down was down or whatever. And I would have to invert the left stick, and I have a setting for that too, where I would just press this button, and this for like this 1-2 minute part of this game, I could invert it for this one part and then just turn it off. And that's what is great about those controllers. It works really, really well. You can just turn it on, there it is, inverted, boom. For stuff that doesn't have it. Helps me a lot.
I will probably invest in one just to check it out. I like the form factor, and I know some people have said those are actually the best controllers for Switch. But my hot take about Mario Wonder, I enjoyed the game, but I was disappointed. It's not as good as I thought it was gonna be.
I'm kind of in the same boat as you. I have an even hotter take. I liked the Superstars better than Wonder, but I've spent a lot more time with Superstars than Wonder, so that was my thing. But I beat Superstars. I didn't beat Wonder, so
yeah, like, and I didn't play enough through Superstars, and we talked about that, and I enjoyed
it's
it.
a good game.
Yeah, it's funny. Like I like the Wonder Seed. I think for me, there is always something really special and memorable about Mario games, like specifically Super Mario World and Mario 3 that I long for. And I don't know if it's because I'm older. I don't know what the hell it is. And while Wonder is a great game and it gets close at moments, I don't feel like I was addicted to it the same way I have been other games. Like I could play Mario Wonder in small bursts and be like, okay, I'm gonna do everything in this stage. And I would do that for like 2 stages, and then I'll just put it down
Mhm.
and then come back to it later versus like being like stuck. Like, when Mario Odyssey came out, I remember like that game having me in its clenches for hours at a time,
Oh yeah,
days at a time.
yeah.
Like, and Wonder didn't do that for me, especially coming off of Tears of the Kingdom that actually did that for me, right? Like
Hmm.
every waking moment, I was like, oh snap. I wanted to play Tears of the Kingdom. Um, so I don't think that Mario Wonder is a mid game by any means. It's a dope platformer. I think it's cool. I like the Wonder element with the seed, the Wonder Seed, and how it kind of transforms the levels. But more often, I didn't feel like it was challenging until I got to the Star Worlds.
Oh
Those
yeah.
were the stages that actually like made me say, this was the Mario game that I was craving. So I'm hoping maybe we get DLC down the road that's a little bit more
Luigi Wonder.
challenging. Yeah, because it again, like if I were to rate the game on a scale of 1 to 10, I'd probably give it more of like a high 7 or 8 than I would like a 9 or a 10. Good game, you know what I'm saying? I enjoyed the hell out of it, but not in the way that I almost wanted more from the game.
There was some stuff that was really disappointing too, where it's like you get to the end of a level and it's like, here's a seed, and I'm like, where's the boss? It's like,
Yeah.
here's a seed. I'm like, what? The bosses were like barely there. It's like, what? There were plenty of times where I was real disappointed, where I was like, what?
The bosses were also way too easy.
Where it's like,
Yep.
here, we don't even have a boss here. Here's a seed. And I'm like, what? You don't want to put bosses at the end of levels anymore? What the fuck's your problem here? I don't know. That was a big disappointment for me. I was kind of like in the same. I was agreeing with what you're saying here, Shake. Like, so the whole reason that I played Superstars more than I played Wonder is that I was like, once Wonder comes out, I'm never gonna play Sonic ever again. So I'm having this great time with Sonic. I need to beat it before I play Mario, because Mario's just gonna suck me in, and I'm just gonna never play anything else or whatever. That's what I was thinking. So I went and I made sure and I beat Sonic Superstars. And then I started playing Wonder a little bit, and then I kind of was like, well, I kind of miss Sonic Superstars. And then I went back to that and played the extra, because you get an extra character after you beat it, and you get a whole nother thing that you can play with that. So I kind of went back and played that character after that, and I don't know. Yeah, it didn't really hold me as much. But also, I thought a lot of it was kind of like it wasn't that new. Like yeah, you can turn into people, but you did that already in Odyssey. But now it's 2D. Or like or a lot of it was stuff you had seen already in the previous Donkey Kong Country games. There was even stuff I had seen in Sonic Superstars that I just played, where I was like, oh yeah, I recognize that. Like there's a part where you're like floating in the sky and there's the electricity like trying to like fry you. Like that's from Superstars. Like they did that as well in that. So I'd kind of already played it in that one, so it didn't seem as new to me, I guess. Because I just seen it there, but I don't know.
Yeah, it wasn't as novel. And I think that like maybe they revealed a little too much, but also just on even a power-up side, right? Like when they showed the elephant Mario, right?
Wowie
I was
zowie.
like, oh, this is about to be crazy. They're gonna go off the deep end and we're gonna have like tons of power-ups that we've never seen. And I'm like, the game had what, 4 power-ups in general? It had the elephant. It had the drill Mario.
I think it was the badges, right? It was kind of like the new power up, I guess, that sort of thing.
Yeah, but it's funny. But I also feel like even with the badges, I didn't end up using a lot of the badges. I used the floating cap, whatever it's called, for most of the game. There were moments in the Star World that I kind of enjoyed how they kind of like forced us to use some of the other badges, but it didn't seem like they were they didn't seem like they would be very functional in some of the regular stages.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
It did remind me, like, because a lot of people have compared the game to Yoshi's Island on the SNES, and it reminded me of like there were those really crazy power ups that Yoshi got, but the setting had to be like perfectly tailored to that to even make sense. So you turn into a helicopter. Wow. Well, you have to play a little helicopter stage. It wouldn't make sense in the normal game to be a helicopter.
Yeah. I mean, there was Jess said that too. My wife, when we were playing it, or not when we first saw the announcement for it, was saying that like a lot of the ideas were like the Yoshi games that had come out before that, like the Super Nintendo one and the sequels as well. Which I'm sure they kind of put it all together. But once again, not really that new, I guess. It felt familiar. Like like Crafted World and Woolly World and stuff like that. And it felt like they'd borrowed some from that too.
Yeah, again, by no means am I suggesting that anyone not play the game if you're a Mario fan. It is innovative in ways, but I wanted a little bit more from my Mario this go round. I was super excited, especially we talked about it the last time, this being like the first Mario game post Mario movie. I was like, oh, they're gonna take us all the way there to kind of like cash in.
The big seller, right? Yeah, you were saying it was going to be the big seller. I wonder how well it did. I mean, I'm sure it did fine. I'm not saying it. I'm sure it sold plenty of copies. I haven't really looked at the numbers.
Yeah. What have I been playing? What else? What had me for a minute, but Persona 5 Tactica.
Yeah, there it is. I was definitely going to ask you about that one because I know that came out after you talked to us last on the show, and I was surprised that you were so into turn-based strategy games, just because we hadn't talked about them or whatever. But and I know you were real psyched about that one. But how is it? Are you still playing that one, Persona 5 Tactica?
Listen, I love the game mechanic, but it's the one thing that no one tells you going into that game is that it's a tactics game. It's one part tactics game. It is other part visual novel.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
And that part really threw me for a loop because the Persona games, I think what they do well is that it always comes off like you're playing an anime, right? Like when I played Persona 5, I was like, oh snap, this game, I'm in an anime RPG. This game was really visual novel where you're kind of looking at static screens and just lots of dialogue. And like if you're literally just kind of trying to keep up with the story, you find yourself like sitting through these dialogue exchanges that are like 10 minutes. And I'm like, yeah, I just want to get to the tactics gameplay.
Yeah.
Like throw me, let me, and that kind of lost me. And I think visually it's stunning. I love the chibi art style, but more importantly, just the cell shading. I love games that are cell shaded. It always gives me that Saturday morning cartoon kind of vibe. There's a really dope mechanic where you can kind of place your team in like a triangular formation and like take out an entire squad of enemies, which is cool once you get the hang of it. So there's lots to love about the gameplay, but the visual novel component, it just takes too damn long. It takes too damn long. And I'm like, it takes me out of the game. Like it legitimately was like, oh my gosh, I can't slog through this 15 minutes of them talking about, like, just get me to the game. But I would recommend it. The gameplay is really dope. It's innovative. I would say for people who like tactics games, it's not too challenging. There were only a couple of stages, at least to what I've played, and I've invested at least 15 hours in it. It's a cool game. It's a cool game. It's a cool game. Like if you're into the Persona franchise, if you like tactics games, it's really awesome. I think it's probably one of the better Switch ports that came out this year, because I think like I didn't really see any stutters or anything. And again, I think that the art style lends itself to the Switch. Dope game. I own Mario RPG. Haven't played it.
Yeah. I wanted to ask you about that because you have actually never played the Super Nintendo one, correct? Right? So I wanted to know your thoughts on it for somebody who, had never experienced the original game, coming into it without nostalgia and all that.
Yeah, I am going to be popping my Mario RPG cherry, and I have not played the game at all.
Oh, you should. It was I will say, I'm not the biggest fan of the original Super Nintendo game, but I think that the Switch version of Mario RPG is done really, really well. Like I was really impressed by. I would put it on the same level as like Metroid Prime as far as like remasters go.
Wow.
Like I thought it was done really, really, really well. So I mean, if I was to do like a top 5 best like re-release remasters of the year or whatever, I would definitely put Super Mario RPG right next to Metroid Prime because I thought they were both done really, really well. And it made the game better to me, just how fast the loading is on like the battle screen. It's like I watched a video breaking down showing that like the loading for the Switch version is faster than the loading on the Super Nintendo originally, and I was like, that's what I want to see. Like, I don't like it. There's too many times when you see like it in a lot. It's been a lot for the GameCube ports, like Tales of Symphonia and like Baten Kaitos. Also, I heard is where like it ran better on the GameCube, and now like this new HD version does not run as well as the GameCube version, and that just makes me sad because I'm like, why? Like it ran way better back then. Like, why can't we make it run better now? But it's I don't know. I think it's up there with Prime as far as a really, really, really well done remaster, and it was done by the people who've like ported every Dragon Quest game going back to the beginning of time. So that's pretty much why I think it was so good. So yeah,
dope.
So high recommend on that one. Definitely check it out when you can.
I will give that a spin. I like my backlog is crazy, and we've talked about this. Like I don't know. I think my Switch library is approaching 300. It's like really close to 300.
I don't want to count it. I really don't. It's going to make me sad. I don't want to count the games because I have so many. Well, my wrap up, I think I mentioned it. I'm sure I mentioned it last week, and I mentioned it on my article that I wrote for Super GG Radio as well. If you want to check that out, my top 5. According to Nintendo, I played 117 games this year. 117 games somehow. So yeah, you can already tell that my backlog is stupid. That's why I made the top 5 about games that I'd actually beaten or games that I saw the credits on or whatever.
It's basically a new game every 3 days.
Because 117. Well, I think a lot of them were probably demos or ones I already had, or I don't know.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't think I bought 117 games because there was a couple strikes in the movie industry or whatever going on. Like that's why I didn't get a main reason that I didn't get Engage when it came out was because I wasn't working. I didn't have any money and couldn't buy it. But I did buy Engage later when it was on sale, and I loved it. It was great. Fire Emblem Engage, really, really good game.
Yeah, really great game. And you know what I liked about Fire Emblem Engage, as much as I loved Three Houses, and also just kind of in comparison to Persona 5 Tactica, it was streamlined.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, I like that as well. Yeah.
Yeah, like and that's not to say that I don't like story, but I feel like tactics games that they, that's what I'm in it for, just to kind of like play through these stages, think about like how I want to approach this battle, and let me jump in, let me upgrade my characters, and then put me back on the battlefield. And Engage was really streamlined in that way, so I did enjoy that a lot. There was also some really dope DLC offerings. I talked about Mario plus Rabbids, Sparks of Hope with the Rayman DLC. I enjoyed that.
I've seen a lot of people compare Persona Tactica to Mario plus Rabbids, like kind of in the gameplay wise. Would you agree with that? Yeah. I think that's a fair comparison. I think both really, and that's not, again, not a knock to Persona 5 Tactica at all. Like I think that the gameplay is really dope. The only thing I wish with Sparks of Hope and the Rayman DLC was that it was longer. Compared to the Donkey Kong DLC that was in the original game. In Kingdom Battle, because that felt like a whole new game. But yeah, I enjoyed the Rayman DLC. We also got really dope DLC this year. I feel like this was a good year, which leads me to it makes me think of AEW, and I'm like, the defenders of AEW need to stop it. All of them, all of them. Like $25 for a season 2 DLC pass is ridiculous. That's been my biggest disappointment. I feel like the game came out as a half-baked beta, and they don't want to admit it. I think that AEW and Ukes and everybody involved is operating in a very predatory way with fans, and I hate to use the term anti-consumer, but I'm like, yo, for $25, Nintendo gave us 48 new tracks in Mario Kart. Well, it doubled the whole game. Like it basically gave us the same amount of tracks that were already there. So like they took all the tracks that were already on Mario Kart 8 and it doubled it. It's like, what if we just gave you that same amount? And I was like, that's amazing. I wish they would do that with AEW, where it's like, we got like 50 wrestlers in here. Here's like 50 more wrestlers or something, or whatever. You know, I understand. Yeah, I understand everybody's like mad about the prices on the season and all that, but I do still think that like the game is still fun as is, and I still, you know, it's still going to be on my list. It has to be, because the game led to me meeting people like you and Joe and Logan and all these other people from the Discord, which I would have never met if AEW Fight Forever didn't come out. So I mean, there was I gotta give it some props for that, and I do think the game is still fun for what it is. But yeah, it does suck how shitty they are being with the DLC for sure.
Listen, I mean, new friendships aside, new gaming buddies aside, we are gluttons for fucking punishment. And I say that because every time we have played that game, we cannot get through a 4-player game without some type of crazy glitch happening.
Sure,
like somebody
we did have that.
The stage, someone being frozen. And I think, you know, it's just kind of to contextualize this idea of like a season pass. We already paid a premium for the Elite Edition to get the first DLC, right? But Mario Kart gives you, again, 100% extra game for $25. You've got games like God of War offering an entirely new mode for free. Like when I think about like the recent DLC that's coming, Dead Cells gives you an entirely new way to play this whole Castlevania for $10. Like, so for them to charge you this premium for the Elite Edition and then say, hey, we're going to charge you $25 for season 2 that gives you access to 3 characters, a new stage, and a tower mode.
Arcade ladder,
Yeah, it just, like, so even when I think about Monster Hunter Rise, because I've been thinking about this, right? Like with Sunbreak. Sunbreak came out at a premium price of like, what, $40? Mm-hmm. But again, it's almost like you're buying into an entirely new game. Right, access to new monsters, everything that you like about that game.
It makes all your other stuff meaningless, all your armor, weapons.
Yeah. You do kind of have to start over again. But yeah, Sunbreak was a whole new game. You know, disguised as DLC, but it's a whole different game. I mean, you go to you get on a ship, you go to a whole nother fucking place, like in the story. Like you go, you know, you don't see any of the Monster Hunter Rise stuff in there.
That can be your home base. Yeah.
The bases change and all that, and
and that's what I'm saying. Like, I just think that the value proposition when you think about DLC is really crazy to me, and it seems predatory, because if every time they release a new season you're paying $25 or more, and you're not changing the game significantly, right? There are things that people have wanted in this game from the beginning. Can we get tornado tag matches? No. You know what I'm saying? Can we get like elimination style matches? No. But they're going to charge you $25 for three wrestlers, and you know, this arcade mode. And I'm just like, it comparatively speaking to some of the best DLC that's come out this year, and we've talked about, like, you know, Sparks of Hope and Mario Kart 8 Deluxe and even stuff that's on other consoles, it's a fucking ripoff. And I don't know that I'm going to support season 2 when it finally comes out on Switch as much as I have enjoyed the game. Because I'm tired of being a glutton for the punishment and mistreatment from youths. They don't respect my dollars or the amount of time I've invested according to Nintendo's yearly wrap-up.
So you're out here actually like supporting it and being like vocal about how great it is and trying to get new people to play, and you're doing the Lord's work.
You got like 300 hours in that game or something. You got a ton of time in that. Yeah, and you made all those cool videos comparing all the moves and all that stuff. And I mean, I'm as much as I hate doing it, but I'm still gonna do it just because I love the Acclaimed. I don't want to see them in the game, damn it. But I'm so pissed that they made me wait a whole month for it. I'm not gonna be happy about it, but I'm still gonna fucking do it just so Joe and I can stream it after Christmas or whatever. You know. But yeah, it's stupid. It really is. Yeah, the whole, like, the DLC they definitely fucked up on. Yeah, because I paid for the Elite. We all did, and it should have given us a whole year of download content, you know, instead of like a partial whatever. But I think aside from that, it's still a decent game. Like like John had a lot of fun with it, and I got the game for Jeremy now too, and hopefully you play it at some point before the end of the year. But I think the story mode is fun, and I think the basic mechanics are great as long as you don't play online with 4 people or something. It's pretty fun.
When it functions, it
Yeah.
can be fun.
I had a blast with the single player. I had a lot of fun with the single player on there.
Yeah. I love, look, to me, it's an arcade game at its core, right? Like, and when I say arcade game, it in the same way that I loved Ali Ali, and I've said this like NBA Street Playgrounds too. Those types of games that I can jump into, play for like 20 minutes mindlessly. Just I understand the game mechanics. It's not narrative driven in any way, shape, or form. Um, I get into those games a lot. Like honestly, it's one of the things that I enjoy most about gaming. I just wish that they weren't trying to beat us in the head with pots and pans and steal from our pockets.
They should at
And
least
kind
let
of
us use pots and pans in the game to hit each other. We don't even have
yeah, yeah,
that.
yeah.
just
But I digress.
just skateboards and belts. But you still put a lot of time into it.
I did, and I would say all of those hours that I've clocked in, I would say about a quarter of those. So at least 100 hours was me waiting to find online opponents.
Oh yeah. Well, I never found online opponents. I only played against people from Discord. So But yeah, no, it's the DLC shit sucks. And yeah, when you look at it against something like Fortnite that has all this like fucking DLC that's free that's on there, or like whatever else, yeah. And the same, in the Mario Kart thing, like that was included with the Nintendo Switch Online. Like if you pay to play online, you get that free anyway. You don't have to pay that $20 or whatever. So I mean, or well, I guess it's the extra one, right? No, the expansion pack or whatever.
Yeah, like I'm looking at like again, I'm just on, my Switch is on. Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge. The DLC was like what, $8? 2 new characters, an
Yeah, it was
entirely new
cheap.
game mode. Like, I just don't understand the pricing model considering what we've gotten or what we've already paid. It doesn't make sense to me. Like I imagine like if there's DLC for any other AAA game or even AA game, or I'm sure it's gonna be freaking $15 to $20, and it's probably gonna give you so much more game. Like Xenoblade 2, Torna.
Yeah, I was gonna say, this year, compare it to my favorite DLC of this year. I mean, surprise, surprise. Xenoblade Chronicles 3: Future Redeemed, which was the DLC that came out this year. It came out right before Tears of the Kingdom did. They got it right out the door. But that one was great. I mean, you could have bought it last year for Xenoblade Chronicles 3, but you get extra heroes to use in the regular game. You get like a sort of a boss rush type thing. Thing where you can play like harder opponents with your characters that you have. But there's also a 30-hour DLC story that's in there, which brings in like stuff from like Xenogears and Xenosaga and Xenoblade Chronicles X. There's all these references to different games where everybody's like, oh, what the fuck is this? And it brings in all the characters from all the other Xenoblades into one thing. And it was done really, really well. And it was like $30 or something like that. And I had a blast with that. But that was, but that's them, that's Monolith Soft. They're like one of the best developers of all time. So, they know how to do shit. They made Tears of the Kingdom. So, don't forget that. They make a lot of things.
Wait a minute. Wait, I'm sorry, Jeremy. I am just noticing that Link to the Past artwork with the
with the
the
cuckoos.
cut.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Cuckoos.
like that's dope. Is that a print?
That is not a print. That is an original painting by someone who's been on our show before, Square Painter.
Yeah, Square Painter. Yeah, he was on our show.
Who
We actually
does,
have upstairs. I have a Earthbound painting that I bought from him as well. That's in our living room.
Wow, that's amazing. I just noticed that. I'm like, that's so fire.
Yeah.
Yeah, look it up
I'm
on
about-
Instagram. He's got lots of really good paintings. Very, very cool
Yeah.
shit.
He just churns them out. Like, I mean, he's a graphic designer by trade, and so he
very good pixel stuff.
just does a really good job. We had a really good episode with him. I can't remember what episode it was. His name's Adam, and he's also in Rex Viper, which is like the band with the
He's
James
in
Rolfe.
He's in a band with what's his face? The
James
angry
Rolfe.
video game nerd.
Mm-hmm.
But no, I follow him. I follow him on the internet, and all of his paintings look amazing. Like every time I see a new one, I was like, oh wow, that's cool. And a lot of it is just stuff I wouldn't think of, like shit from like the Friday the 13th NES game, or like just a lot of like really random cool.
It's
stuff.
also really framed well, and like it's just composed well. Like because he just released a Triforce one that is incredible. It's like all art from the first Zelda NES game, and it's really cool.
Oh my! I think that I am going to get one of his pieces.
I recommend it.
Oh yeah, he did the Triforce.
I've got another piece over
triangle
here, this
thing.
Mario piece.
Yeah, and I saw he just did like a Maniac Mansion piece with the main characters of that, or there's like a Bionic Commando one, or like Mario running up the wall in Mario World. Like they're all done really, really well.
It's also one of those people you got to watch, kind of like Wario 64, where only in this case it's like they're gonna post a painting of like is for sale in their store, and you want to go grab it. Like that's what I did with the Zelda one.
Oh yeah, you got to jump on it before it's sold out.
Because when he was on the show, he's like, "Yeah, I do these like Mario and Zelda pieces because I know they're gonna sell, but my true passion is the more obscure ones like RoboCop on the NES or something like that."
I saw that he did like a big Super Empire Strikes Back thing, and I was like, oh my god, I want that. Because yeah, that's like probably my favorite Star Wars game ever. But I was like, damn, that's awesome.
Wow. No, that's super dope. Like I'm looking at some of the stuff that he has on his IG, and it's incredible. Wow.
Yeah, both he and his partner artist, they've both been involved in like a lot of cool video game stuff. But yeah, like I've actually, because I've literally got the paintings here to study, to see like the technique sort of, and I've tried to sort of emulate it on my own as an amateur artist, and I've done okay, but I don't have the skill and the like composition ability that this artist does. Without a doubt, this person's like on another level.
My wife has done some pretty cool, kind of similar stuff with cross stitch as well. That looks really good. Like, I think you might have one over there. Or, well, I know we have one upstairs that has a 8-bit
back here.
Zelda stuff
if you can
on
see
it.
this, if you can see this Yoshi back here, that's a needlepoint that Trey's wife just made.
Oh wow!
Yeah, I have it's
one of my favorite.
I can grab it in the break, but I have a Dragon Quest monster that they made for me that was didn't even have a pattern for. Just made it from like the pixel, which is pretty cool. So
yeah, one of my favorite things to collect is handmade video game type art, just because it's truly one of a kind. Like that's great, and I like it. It's not something I'm just buying and like have. It's something I really, really love, and it connects with me.
Yeah. Well, is there any other games you want to talk about before the break here? We'll take a break in a couple minutes.
I think that I have talked your ears off. I don't know if there's anything else that has come out that I've invested. Another dope game that we spoke about that I enjoyed, but I also fell off was Disney Speedstorm. Really dope card game.
It was good, right? Real good.
Yeah,
I liked it a lot.
Really good. Really, really good. I'm like, am I forgetting any other major releases this year?
Speaking of something that gives you a lot for nothing, like you don't got to pay anything for that game, and they just gave you so much shit, and they're still adding seasons to it and all that. I had a blast with that game. Put a good 20 hours into it for a downloadable game.
Yep,
it's definitely better than the rocket racing stuff on Fortnite, just because there's more to do and more characters and whatever. Not that rocket racing's bad. It's just the Disney Speedstorm is better.
Gotcha. Cool. Well, why don't we take a quick break? Hey, you.
It's me, Mario.
Yeah, you. Subscribe to our Patreon to hear our bonus shows, which happen every month.
I'm tired.
Tired of all the big corporate podcasts spoon-feeding you the same old video game news on every single show?
Spaghetti. Ravioli.
Then expand!
With NintenDomain Expansion Pack.
It's us talking about old games that were important to us. It's us interviewing people that we meet at conventions. And heck, it's live shows from those same conventions. It's basically everything you could want that NintenDomain ever made.
Here we go!
And it's just $1 a month.
That's less than a bad indie on the eShop.
It's $12 a year, which is less than Nintendo Switch Online.
Thank you so much for subscribing to our Patreon and supporting NintenDomain.
Just go to patreon.com/NintenDomain podcast and, hey, Mario, let go. Whoa! He's throwing us back to the show.
So long, Bowser.
Patreon.com/NintenDomain podcast.
Game over.
Question for you out there, do you honestly just not care? I get the feeling that this not the case. Poker face. Everyone has the right to go and see the other side. So break down the barricade before it ends in pain. I know you will love me.
All right, so we're back officially. I wanted to thank you. I mean, you're the one who turned us on to it, and we actually had a viewer or a listener comment on it as well. And it kind of sounded like we were sponsored by it. But Deku Deals, Shake, you were the first one to ever tell me about it, and I check it on the regular. And I think last time we talked, you told me that you were gonna get a bunch of Black Friday stuff. I mean, do you wanna share what you ended up? Did you end up getting shit from that, or? What did you get?
I don't remember. And honestly, I don't know if I went as crazy as I thought I was going to. Because, my last purchases were Tactica, Super Mario RPG, Superstars, Wonder. I did get Klonoa Fantasy Reverie series. I did get that. I don't remember if I had Sifu or not, but I did pick that up. Let's see.
Mutual friend of ours, Joe, I really wanted him to get Monster Hunter Rise, and it is on sale right now for $15.99, and it's on sale through the 28th. So if you want to find a way to make that happen, and we can all play Monster Hunter sometime, I'd be totally into it. I'd even throw you a couple bucks for it or something if you need it.
I am going to get Joe the game.
I was saying that's on the. I just want to double check on Deku Deals, and it is still $15.99 for the base Monster Hunter Rise. Through December 28th. So yeah, that's a crazy deal for all the fucking that Monster Hunter is an amazing game, and that was the one that turned me on to it. So you'll get a lot of time.
I'm all about Monster Hunter now. Like, obviously, I haven't played it for a while, but I'm excited about the new one, and I will be getting it when it comes out.
Monster Hunter Wilds, right?
I've been brought into the Monster Hunter fold, which I hear is more like a sequel to Worlds, which I do own, but I barely played.
Yeah, I mean I think so, but who knows whether it'll show up on the next Nintendo system or not? It might. It could be on Switch too. I mean, and if not, there will be some sort of specific Monster Hunter on there because Monster Hunter Rise was made specifically for Nintendo, and not to mention all those 3DS games. Where it was all handheld.
And Capcom knows what they're doing with that.
Well, and it's a Japanese game. Like handhelds are still very big there, so you will definitely
get Capcom and Monolith to work on something together.
Oh, that'd be crazy! Wouldn't it?
Incredible.
Yeah, that would be a crazy game. Monster Hunter meets Xenoblade, that would be a wonderful game. Yeah, it would be crazy. It looks so cool.
Can I tell you that I've never played a Xenoblade game? Like I own
It's all right. It's a lot of people. They're afraid of the
I've
amazingness.
started a
I
lot
get
of
it.
Xenoblade games.
No, I get. I mean, they're they're a little. They're really long ass games. I mean, I know that, but I think that anybody, if you can find it at a decent price or whatever, you should play 3, because I think that 3 was really, really good. And I will forever say, until there's a better game, that Xenoblade Chronicles 3 is one of the best games on Switch. I definitely think it's one of the best modern RPGs of our time, as I said in my top 5 whatever article.
You do prefer it to 2.
Yeah, I do, of course. No, 3 was great. I mean, I loved 1. I mean, I loved X, and then I loved 1. And 2 was, like, kind of hard to get into, but I loved 1 so much that I made myself figure out 2. But figuring out 2 helped me be better at 3, I guess. But there's parts of 1 and 2 and 3, and they do it so well where, like, different characters have the way their like moves work are based on either 1 or 2, and you can see it. And it's just so they're super nerdy about it. Like, if you know your Xenoblade shit, it's pretty cool. But you don't need to know everything to get into it. I think the story is done really well, and I think the characters are very cool, and the story is really cool. I mean, they're like people that were born to be soldiers, to basically kill each other and be reborn over and over again. It's almost kind of like, I don't know, it's like Logan's Run meets like some sort of sci-fi war thing or whatever. It's wonderful. Yeah, and they have to. I recommend 3 more than anything. Play that one. It's great. I don't want to say too much to spoil it, but it was a wonderful, wonderful game. It was like, I think I played it for like good 200 plus hours, but loved every minute of it. But let's do that part of the show where we talk about the games that we got and games that we've been playing. Let's see. I know, Jeremy, you have 1 game, and I got some games.
I have 1 game, and I didn't really get into it last week, which is all for the best because it's all I really played since then. But
yeah,
when Lego Fortnite came out and I started playing it, and I'm like, holy shit, this is actually really fun. I was like, I can't start playing this because I've been telling Trey that I'm going to play through one of the Dragon Quest Builders games. Well, lo and behold, I had it through PlayStation Plus. I already had it on the PS5. So
it's been
Dragon Quest Builders
85
2
years.
was the one I decided to play. Yes.
No,
and I started playing it, and I mean, I had played through the demo before on Switch, so that early part was a little bit of a slog. I'm like, I don't really feel like doing all this again. But once I got through it, and once I really started to like kind of become a fan of the way the game's divided into like sections and stuff. Yeah, I've really started to like it, and it's actually a really hard game to pull myself away from because I keep wanting to like do more goals. It's very much like you can see your progress around you because you're building your towns up and stuff. So,
and when you get to a certain point, your villagers build for you too, which was really, really cool. Like that
your villagers what?
Your villagers will build for you when you get to a certain.
Oh
part.
yeah. My villagers do build for me.
I don't know if you've
so
gotten
I'm
there
not
yet.
like
they'll start
I'm not to
helping
the part,
you.
Like I had them. So what's really cool about it is like I didn't really know what to expect, and I went to an island. I'm like, well, I know there's more than one island, but it really felt like it was its whole like self-contained adventure where it felt like an entire thing. Like, and I got through it, and I spent like probably 15 or 20 hours. So I'm still kind of learning the mechanics, but by the time I finished that first island, it was 15 or 20 hours in, and I'm like, this game's already given me so much content. And they're like, well, now you got to go to another island, and that's been a whole other thing. So I'm kind of at the point of wrapping that one up, the desert level.
I forget how far I got because I got stuck in the game, and hopefully you get to wherever I was stuck at and you can help me get out of it, because it gives you a very vague goal on what to do, and I can't figure out what it is. And I've looked online, and I couldn't find anything online telling me what to do, and I just was stuck. But I thought I was like the 3rd or maybe the 4th, because you do a whole story and then you have to start all over again from scratch, and then you do another one again, and then you have to start over again from scratch. So I've done a few of those.
But the good thing is, like, after the first one, you're kind of like isolated, which was crazy. The other part of the first, it was like very much like the Great Plateau in Zelda, because it was like kind of a microcosm of one part of the.
Yeah, and you get the floaty sail thing too, which is totally, completely, obviously inspired by Breath of the Wild.
But that whole section kind of like teaches you all about the farming mechanics, but then you also have villagers helping you like do that, which is so good because it's just there from the beginning. You don't have to like.
Oh yeah, the farming too.
So they're all doing everything for you. You just do the fun part of like harvesting and planting and everything else they take care of for you. And eventually they'll harvest for you as well if you're not around.
And that's and I don't know if we mentioned it or not, but Dragon Quest Builders 2, which was on my top 10. I don't remember what number it was. 2019, way back in 2019. It was probably in my top 5 best games of the year. And yeah, it was a really good game. It was the only like Minecraft buildy type game that I actually got into, and that was obviously because of like the Dragon Quest world and all that. And it's the first, the Dragon Quest Builders 1 takes place in an alternate dimension from Dragon Quest 1. So like the original Dragon Quest 1 game, when you get to the end, when you get to the Dragon Lord asks you if you want to join him or if you don't. And if you say you want to join him, then he basically kills you and everything goes dark and the game's over. And so you have to want to say no so you can fight him. But Dragon Quest Builders 1 took place in that world where you would have said yes, and then the Dragon Lord would own everything, and you'd be in the dark place with all the monsters around and everything. Dragon Quest Builders 2 is kind of similar because it has like, I think one of the main characters is like the villain from Dragon Quest 2. So they really like to do that. Like they do the same thing with the game that I've been playing pretty often, Dragon Quest Monsters, which has the villain from Dragon Quest Monsters or Dragon Quest 4 with Pissarro. Is the main
you're
character
basically
you play as, so.
kind of like a demigod as a builder, but you've got like a villain with you who's lost his memory, who's like got like these voices talking to him and stuff. Yeah, no, it's really cool. And like, so I will say like it's very corny and horny in the second stage. Like the bunny girls are there with the and like the dudes that look like they're kind of in bondage with the like bull helmets or whatever.
Oh yeah, those
they're
guys.
like miners. So it's like those guys, and all they care about is that the only woman who lives in town is going to dress up as bunny and dance for them if they like complete the mine. So it's just really,
yeah. Those guys with the helmets. I mean, you always see them selling armor in like every Dragon Quest game. Like that's kind of like
they're always like speaking like a Cockney accent.
Yeah, well, I mean that's kind of more of a localization thing. I don't think that was originally. Obviously, that wasn't originally in the Japanese game, but yeah, they did that. Actually, they did that for the re-releases on DS and 3DS. Like I said, bringing it back around to Art Piazza, the guys who did the Super Mario RPG on Switch. So I think that was where a lot of that stuff came with the different accents and whatnot. I guess the original Dragon Warrior game on NES had like the these and thous and all that, which wasn't involved with the original Japanese game, which made me kind of...
Which is still in the translation here. It's like... it's just like the monsters that are talking to you speak that way. But no, I just like it. It's really cool. It's a little vague on what it wants you to do a lot of the time. So I don't know if I've necessarily gotten stuck because there's other stuff to do. And you'll figure out, I just need to complete all the side quests because like I'll completely like be almost done with the build, but I'm missing like a few components. I'm like, why? I don't even have the recipe to build this. So what do I do? And then I have to complete some side quest that I haven't done yet to learn how to make that component to like finish the build. So there's a lot of stuff like that in it, which could be a little frustrating from time to time, but I think it's fun and it's a nice relaxed game. I've never really felt stressed out by it. And you can like arm all your villagers that want to fight and give them all the best weapons. That's pretty fun too.
One of my favorite things about 2 versus 1 is like when you're defending your like whatever you've made, you can't accidentally destroy your shit. Like that was part of 1 where when you're trying to fight people, when you're trying to fight the monsters that are coming after your building that you made, you can accidentally destroy it and then you have to rebuild it. Like that was a big change for the second one, where there's like friendly fire on your own stuff that you made to where it won't destroy it.
Well, I started building everything out of like the strongest materials I have, so that would be harder to happen anyway. But
there's some really cool boss battles too in there too, in 2. I mean 1 as well.
But yeah, I love it. It's like an all new Dragon Quest game. Like it's got a story to it. You know, it's pretty vague, but I always feel like the stories were. And like there's characters. You know, I feel like there's character development. Like I said, this level's really horny. Like one guy's had me build a shower. Yeah, it's that level where the golem.
Here's my this is the This is the I don't know if I'm trying to get not too.
The gold golem.
This is the golem that Jess made for me, cross stitch, based off of the sprite. And I have
the level I'm in, like there's this golem where you have to like collect a bunch of ore to get him to like go from stone to silver to gold.
I say right next to it. This is the golden. I bought this at the Square store in Japan. I have a couple of these because these golem guys are like my favorite Dragon Quest monster character. But yeah, Jess just took a look at the picture and just cross stitched it together like that.
Wow,
So
that's amazing.
That's a good one there.
But I just made I just had to make a shower with windows for walls. So there's a character who's like, I want you to make a new shower, but I want it all
Creepy.
The walls to be clear. And I'm not going to tell you why.
That's
ask.
creepy.
Just do it.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, you don't remember doing that?
I'll say that's no. Maybe I didn't get that far. I'll say that's.
And I've been like collecting the night soil, royal soil, whatever, and using that to make fertilizer. And
it's a night.
that,
I think it's actually.
It's called night soil.
Night soil. Yeah, it's basically shit. You're taking
it is
because you make a bathroom.
I would call it compost if we were going to be more.
You make a bathroom for people to poop into, and you can go into the toilet and pull the night soil out, and you can
collect all the stuff.
Use
out
it for
it,
your for your stuff. I remember the first time
you also use it to feed the worm that terraforms the land.
Oh yeah, I remember that part. I remember the first time I made a bathroom, like there was a big like line of people just waiting to go in there and take a shit and all that. I'm glad you're finally enjoying it 4 years later. But no, it's a good game. I can't remember. Yeah, I'll have to like boot it up again and figure out where I was because it was something involving like mines, and there was like a train track that was in there that you had to do, and just the thing that it asked you to do was really vague, and I just couldn't figure out what I was supposed to do. And
I mean, it's probably where I'm at. Yeah, I had to like repair all the whole minecart track, and that part was a little confusing, but
yeah, that's probably
I eventually figured it out.
Because I would like to get through it at some point, but I never did. It was on my
that was one of the more like frustrating parts. I couldn't figure out what to do, but once I like literally just walk from the beginning and keep going, and then it'll start showing you in your progress bar that you're doing it right, and then yeah, it's really dumb because they give you the recipe to how to make those after the fact, but you have to scavenge the pieces of mine track in the meantime.
I do remember that. I do remember doing some of that. So I don't know, but yeah, Dragon Quest Builders too. You can get it on Switch,
and also in the meantime, you have your own island, like the home base, where you can go back and
where you can build
you can build new like recipes and stuff, and just do whatever you want. I've got a whole crazy farm there, and I've been bringing, I built bathhouses and bathrooms and stuff there for people because I learned the recipes on the other places, and just starting to turn that whole island into something really cool. I built like a whole river and stuff. I don't know if you got through that. You probably got through that part if you were on the desert part. Yeah, I might be further than you.
You might be.
Because I'm almost done with the second island. Like I've got my village is completely maximum leveled out, and I'm about to go fight the big boss.
I thought it was in the
which
third.
Is Medusa.
I was like, I thought I was in the third part, but maybe I was.
Did you fight Medusa?
It's been years since I played. I really don't remember where I was. I'd have to boot it up and see where I was. So maybe sometime.
That's really all I played this week. Like, and I do kind of feel bad for missing the Tetris thing because
you missed Wonder.
Sean even reminded me of it. Yeah, Sean even reminded me of it Friday, and then we were like, "Well, let's do it." And then like something distracted us. Still,
I think I put it on. Oh, so you played it, right?
I definitely got it, and it has become my default stage now because like the way they incorporated the pieces for Mario Wonder is really cool. Like the L pieces.
Oh yeah, they look really cool.
L pieces, like they're pipes, like they're the Mario pipes.
Yeah.
So they did stuff that was really cool with the pieces. So I really dug it.
Oh yeah, no, me too. Yeah, no, it was cool that they actually each different color like represented a different thing that you had seen in Wonder, and like that was really, really cool. They don't always do that for I guess they do somewhat, but not. I didn't feel like it was as unique for each of the themes. I had a crazy week last week. I was like out of town, and I was also editing like 3 of these podcasts and recording one, and also doing the top 5 list. And I basically every time that I had was dedicated to this show or whatever else. So I had like no time to do anything. But like, what was it, Friday or Saturday night when I was finally done with the job and all that, that was what I win. I did Tetris 99, and I got the theme, and then I played F-Zero 99, like pretty much until I went to sleep. And I played a ton of the classic mode, which is like basically the original Super Nintendo game, but like multiplayer now, which they've added, which I love.
Oh, that's dope.
Yeah, it's cool. Yeah, classic mode is my favorite thing on there. So it's basically like only 20. It's only 20 people at once, and the racetracks are smaller. They're like thinner, but also it's 4x3. Like they changed the aspect ratio even to look like the Super Nintendo. And there's no you can only boost after you finish a lap. Like it's not like how it basically makes it like the original Super Nintendo game. And there's no like above the racetrack. There's no secret track or anything like that. And yeah, I did pretty good at that. I beat a bunch of S whatever level people, and I made it to A-. So I've never gotten that high before. So I was like, hey, there we go, cool,
awesome.
So,
awesome,
but I've
awesome.
been it's still. I mean, no surprise. F-Zero 99 is going to be in my top 10 best games of the year list, obviously. But I'm glad it's still there. It does seem like there's a little bit less people playing it, but I hope that people keep pushing on. I hope they add stuff from the Game Boy games. Like I hope they add like Maximum Velocity and like the other ones. Was it Climax and Legend? Was it GP Legend? Was the other one? But yeah, some of the Game Boy Advance games that came out that were like kind of in that style. I hope they had, and maybe add extra racers. Like there's a lot of F-Zero lore to go around. We can do a lot of shit with that. But while I was editing, I played Dragon Quest Monsters because it's pretty easy to play. Speaking of Dragon Quest Monsters just came out like a couple weeks ago. But I've been having fun with it, even though I don't really understand all the synthesis stuff that's involved with it. I still can't beat any of the giant monsters that I found, but I've gotten closer, gotten better at it. But it's I've just been kind of just throwing different monsters together to create newer ones. It's very similar to the Shin Megami Tensei games, if you ever played those, where you combine two demons to make a new demon. But unfortunately, in this one, you don't have the compendium. Whereas in the Shin Megami Tensei games, you have the compendium where you can save your demons in there. So if you need one demon to make multiple different new demons, you can actually pull them out of the compendium and do it again and again and again. And this one, like I needed like this one dragon thing called the Wordle with a Y and a T, not like that game that I never played. But you need the specific dragon to make all these different monsters, and I wanted to make these different ones, but I don't know where the dragon is, so I was trying to look online, and like nobody is covering this game at all. So if you got some extra time, buy Dragon Quest Monsters, make a Wagglefest video for it. No, seriously, like nobody's doing anything about it because it's like end of the year, nobody cares. But it's a really good game. Like if you like Pokemon style games and you want to see one that's not completely broken, like this one is pretty good. But yeah, it was like I couldn't figure out where to find the monster, so I was just basically going like from area to area to area, and I still couldn't find them. But it would be nice if they have like a Pokedex equivalent in there, but it doesn't show you like where the monsters live at. But it is a really good game. Like I would, I don't know. This one's going to end up in my list as well because I'm playing the crap of it. It's going to be a good Christmas game, where I need like something to throw on when I'm dealing with the family members and all that. Like last year, my two Christmas games were Dragon Quest Treasures and Sonic Frontiers were like what kind of got me through the family shit and all that. Like something I can just go off to the side, or just even the fun thing about now that everyone has cell phones is that you can bring your video game system out and play it, and everybody just thinks it's a phone, so they don't really say anything to you. Well, that was my trick in the Wii U days. It's like I'm just gonna play my Wii U right here, and nobody notices because it's the thing with the screen on. You think it's just an iPad or something, So that's gonna be one of the games that I like escape to while we're trying to get through the.
I still remember not long
shit.
after the Wii U came out. I was at the bus station, which is also the Amtrak station in town, and I was like sitting there waiting on a bus or a train, I can't remember. And I look over, and this kid, probably like 12 to 14, was playing the new Wii U. I'm like, how's he doing that? And I looked over, and he had his
plugged into the wall.
Yeah, the console sitting there plugged into the wall.
Nice.
And he was playing. It was awesome.
Oh, I totally did that.
Like,
There was what was it? We went to, there was this lake house that we would go to in Missouri, like that my mom had, which actually my stepbrother owns now. But yeah, we would go there and we would stay upstairs. And I remember I just got the Wii U and I really wanted to play Sonic and Sega All-Star Racing Transformed is what I wanted to play. So I basically, there was no TV there, but I just plugged the Wii U into the wall and then just played off of the remote, and it was really cool. Yeah, it's like it's kind of portable, but if you got a plug and you got enough space to plug your system in, there you go, you got it right there. So I remember seeing people on the train doing that, like plugging it into the wall and having it right there ready to go. So there you go. But what was it? When I was away, I played Sonic Dream Team, which is on Apple Arcade. Yes, I got it again just so I could play it with the backbone on my phone. It looks all right. It hasn't grabbed me like Frontiers did, just because it doesn't have that open world and all that stuff. But I'll probably get through it. I mean, it's like $6 to do Apple Arcade, so I was willing to throw down $6 to play the new Sonic game because apparently I'm a Sonic fan now because I loved Frontiers.
You've always been a
and
Sonic
Superstars.
fan.
Apparently, yeah, ever since I was a kid and really wanted to play Sonic. It's because of that amazing.
You always wanted to go fast.
Well, it's because of that amazing theme song from that first level. It did really hook me. I think Yoko Shimomura wrote some of those songs too. But yeah, that game was fun. I played Lego 2K Drive. That was a PlayStation Plus game. It's actually available on Switch as well. And this one I think you would be really into, Shake, because it's a racing game, but it's an open world racing game. So you can kind of like go from place to place, and it's really seamless. Like when you drive into the water, like your car turns into a boat, and then you're in a boat on the water. Or if you go off of the road, it turns into like a four-wheeler. Like it kind of like changes Lego wise. Then you can build your own cars. Like you can build them from like brick by brick by brick if you want to do that. Like Lego brick by Lego brick.
Awesome.
I actually I was just trying to because you unlock like different cars that you get from doing different missions, and I was just trying to switch in the new one that I had unlocked, and I accidentally just took the whole top of the car off, and I just have these little tiny Lego bricks, and I'm trying to just rebuild it, and I was like, wait, what happened? Like, why do I don't have the car anymore? But you could still race it like that. If you just wanted to make it just like a flat thing with wheels, you could, that sort of thing. So there's a lot of options to it. It's free on PlayStation Plus. You can get it, Jeremy. I would totally buy it for Switch if it goes on sale again. It was on sale during Black Friday for $30, but I think it's a good game.
I saw it on PS Plus. Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't play. I never got around to playing the Power Wash Simulator, but I do have it downloaded because that was free on PS Plus too. Which is a Switch game as well. Joe and Logan and Derek and all the other of the Discord AEW people. We've been playing Fortnite, the new Fortnite stuff on Switch, and we played on Monday. And we did pretty good. We got a couple. We got some wins. We got like maybe half wins, half losses. Because the better you get, the better people they put you up against. And that the end of the video, we got destroyed by this team where they were all like wearing the same outfit. We were like obviously these guys know how to be a fucking team. Like we thought we were cool, but then we got schooled. Once we got to the bigger things, but it's been fun. I haven't played Fortnite since way back when Jeremy and I used to stream it and all that. Like back when they had planes in it, which that was even the newer shit. But like even way back when it first came to Switch and all that. But it's pretty fun. Like the new season's cool. It's basically like I mentioned it last week, I think, but it feels like Grand Theft Auto Online now because you can just jump in cars and just drive all over the place, and you can get all in the same car, and you can jump out and shoot people with your buddies. Like it's weird. So, but I kind of get it now. It's been fun, and we've been streaming that on twitch.tv/NintenDomain podcast, so you can check that out.
Do you remember when the Fortnite ended a Nintendo Direct, or was that Overwatch? I can't remember. I feel like it was Fortnite. Might have been in 2017.
They might have.
It might have been.
I mean, well, Fortnite, because I think we talked about this last week a little bit, but I know Fortnite they want Nintendo to they want to have Nintendo characters on there because they've had Marvel characters. They got Futurama. They got Dragon Ball Z. They got all these. They got The Weeknd. They got all these fucking people on there, and they want to have Samus and Link and Mario and all that. And it hasn't happened yet, but Nintendo is totally. I mean, there's a Fortnite Switch that you can buy that comes with V-Bucks.
Yeah.
They have they've supported Fortnite, so just Nintendo, just fuck it.
They've
just
also
just put
their
Samus on there. Come
characters
on,
in, like-
it'll be fun. Yeah.
Well, like I can think of like Soul Calibur. I guess that's
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
that's the
Soul
only-
Calibur 2, Link, GameCube. Yeah.
Yep. And well, they did
And
the
NBA Street. Mario and
They
Luigi
did
and
that, yeah,
and then
they
there's
did-
like the
they-
Namco Mario Kart games, of course.
oh yeah.
yeah, and also in Monster Hunter, right? On the 3DS, they had the Link and Samus layered armor sets that you could get. No, they weren't even layered armor sets. They were actually their own armor sets. You know what the interesting thing about Fortnite specifically when it comes to Nintendo, and the reason why I don't think, although it would make sense, I think Samus, maybe not Mario, but it would make sense to license Samus. I don't think they're gonna do it because like Nintendo is one super protective over their properties. I tend to think more often than not, they only partner in that specific way with Japanese companies, like you know what I'm saying, like partners like Namco.
Well, I was gonna say, what about Mario versus? What about Mario plus Rabbids though? Mario had guns in that. Like they could totally have. He could have the same guns like for Fortnite and run around, right?
Yeah, I mean, it would. You're absolutely right, and I think that that's a super just like valid position. Like it's like yeah, they could do it like how they did Mario plus Rabbids. I don't know. You know what it is though? I think that even Mario plus Rabbids, it was a crossover between like two particular franchises. I don't know if Nintendo subscribes to this idea of fraternizing with the competition, right? Like, I don't know if they would want Mario in the same universe with Kratos and like, it's one thing if it were Disney or something else, but I think that like, because Fortnite has all of these skins from Marvel and some of these other like, it might be a situation where it's like, these are this is our competition.
Mm-hmm.
I think so. Yeah, the exception being if it's a first party, or I guess Smash isn't technically a first party, but yeah, I mean you could literally fight Solid Snake, which was like the PlayStation mascot before.
Well, yeah, it
Kratos
was
kind of took over.
Well, you could do Mario versus Cloud. You know, like Final Fantasy VII, to be reminded of when Sony said "fuck you" to Nintendo, right during the PlayStation times, where they're like, "We're going to CDs."
But Smash,
you know.
Smash isn't. There's a lot of exceptions. I'm also thinking of like
Cadence
Cadence
of
of
its own thing.
Hyrule.
Yeah,
like that was a whole weird thing where they were like, "Yeah, sure, put Zelda in there."
Yeah, they seem.
Or like
they seem to be a little.
Or Hyrule Warriors.
Yeah, they seem to be a little bit like more be
Pretty
like, hey, you know,
loosey-goosey.
yeah, like more like, hey, you know, you can use this, but maybe.
So
I
why
don't
can't
know.
it be in
Yeah.
Fortnite? Why can't I be
Yeah, right.
Link fighting Peter Griffin? You know, just let it.
Yeah,
just let
like,
it
but
happen.
that's what I'm saying. Like, I
We
don't
killed
think
Peter Griffin so many times on that stream.
it's hilarious. But I think like when you look at Smash specifically, like most of the licensed characters are from Japanese companies. It's Sega, it's Namco, it's Capcom, so I think that that's where kind of the Smash thing. I've always noticed that, like, people wanted Rayman in Smash, and we didn't really get it.
That's true.
Even with SNK, right? We got Terry Bogard. It's all like Japanese companies. We didn't see any, like Activision didn't give them Crash. Like I thought that would have been like the big surprise, like if Crash came to Smash or even Spyro, right? Either one of them.
Mm-hmm.
But I think Smash specifically is a celebration of Japanese gaming more than anything else because it's all of the iconic Japanese video game icons, Mega Man, Sonic, you know what I'm saying, Dragon Quest, all of them, Ken and Ryu. But I don't know. I think that in an ideal world, I would love to see Samus in Fortnite. I think it would be super dope. I think that there is. I just kind of. I've always gotten the impression that because it's such this huge crossover, I feel like Nintendo I feel like that's where Nintendo is still very rigid in their old school way of thinking.
Mm-hmm.
That like by them not doing that, they're protecting their IP almost.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I was gonna say, I've never put any money. I've never spent any money on Fortnite. And if there were Nintendo skins, I mean, I still feel bad that I didn't get the Marvel skins. You know, I was like, I did kind of want to pay for the
Minecraft
for the
had
Venom
some
or whatever,
skins as
you
well.
know.
Oh yeah.
But yeah. Well, yeah, Minecraft was in Smash Bros.
So you can
also.
fight Kratos in Minecraft.
Yeah. But I would pay for it if they put Nintendo stuff in Fortnite, and also they should just include it with our Nintendo Switch Online subscription. That'd be funny. Be like, hey, you
Yeah, what if they could put
automatically
Mario
get
Kart
these
stuff
Fortnite
in
skins.
Rocket Racing, that'd be fucked up. Well, no, they did didn't they do on Rocket League? They did there's like a Samus car you could unlock.
Yeah, there were Nintendo themed cars in Rocket League, which is now owned by Epic, right? Who owns Fortnite.
Mm-hmm.
So it's there. We can do it. Just Nintendo, just pull the trigger. We can make it happen. We can make it happen.
Yeah. Oh no. I mean, listen, I would love it. I think that would be the thing that got me into Fortnite. Like, to be quite honest,
it's pretty fun. I mean, if you have, if we have some time over Christmas, if you want to jump on for a stream, it's we've been having fun with it. It's just another thing for us to play and hang out and talk about wrestling or whatever, So, and it's free. So, it's
a really well maintained thing. They just run super smooth, and you can just hang out and be done.
I mean,
and it supports native voice chat on Switch.
Yep,
it does. Yeah, even though I don't know how to get it to work on my end, so we've still been talking through the Discord, because I don't have a headset or whatever to hook up to the Switch, but it does have
Discord anyway.
Yeah, but it does have its own thing. But I mean, it's impressive just how they've kept it going with no, having not have to buy anything other than skins and just making money off that. I find that pretty impressive and all that stuff. But I do before we go, I have to mention, I said it at the very, very beginning that I'm finally playing a game that I should have played a long time ago. And that game is Octopath Traveler 2. I finally started playing it last night, and oh man, it's pretty rad. And I know Jeremy played through all of Octopath Traveler 1.
I did.
And I was trying to figure out, it's like, well, what are the differences here? I mean, obviously it looks beautiful. This is coming from the first, the people who, started the 2D HD, the beautiful sprites and all the different angles and all that. And it looks incredible on Switch. It looks wonderful.
Not a very well-known company called Square Enix.
Yeah. Yeah, nobody's heard of Square Enix. But no, I've been putting it off because I really didn't like Octopath 1, but I've read so many reviews, I've seen so many talk about it, so many people talk about it, people who didn't like Octopath 1, they love Octopath 2. And yeah, I put 4.5 hours into it last night, and it's going to be another game that I play over the winter break. So it's beautiful. That the stories are really good. The characters are really good, and now they kind of talk to each other. Basically, you do one mission, and then you walk to another mission where another character is. Like I just found this guy, Oswald, or however they want to say his name. He's laying on the ground, and you walk up to him, and you're like, "Hey, dude, why are you on the ground?" And why are you
on this grassy knoll?
Well, actually, it's all snow. He's in the snow. He's completely covered by snow or whatever. And he's wake him up from the snow, and he's he'll be I need. He's like, thanks for rescuing me. Can I go with you on with your party? But do you want to hear my story? And then it'll go back to his story or whatever. But Oswald, he killed his family. And he's on trial for it, and you start in the prison as him being on trial for killing his family or whatever. The stories are way darker and way more interesting, I think. I was playing as Temenos. He's like a cleric. Basically, at this place called the Fire Church or whatever, where they believe in the flames of the god or whatever. And you have to go, you have to go try to get into this temple, and everything's locked, and you can do this thing now. That's where you can where you can basically go into somebody's mind and break them, and figure out how to So it's basically all the battles in Octopath. You will use different items that are weak against whatever opponent, and you can break them. But now there's this specific character where you can do this thing where you go into their mind or whatever, and you just have to break them once, and then you will learn all the things that they know about whatever you're trying to figure out. So you want to figure out where the back way is, where the secret way is to get into this temple that's completely locked, and you have to scan these different characters and try to break their mind to figure out what they have. And I was like, that's a really cool mechanic that I hadn't seen before.
That's pretty cool.
So you make it in.
It's a really violent Sherlock Holmes.
Kind of, yeah. It's like the Mind Palace, sort of, or like Alan Wake, kind of comes to mind too when I'm looking at this sort of thing, but 2D or whatever. But there's giant sprites that you fight against. They look really cool. It has the same mechanics, where you can. It's basically Bravely Default, but Octopath or whatever. But I got it on sale. It was on sale for $30, months ago. It's been something that I felt like I needed to play because so many people that I respect in the industry have talked it up like crazy. And I was like, well, fuck, I have to play Octopath 2. And yeah, it was on sale for like $35. And I was like, well, fuck, I have to get it just because it's on sale. And I finally played it. And yeah, I really like the characters a lot. I really like the story a lot. Was it Throne A? I started with Throne A, and she's like a thief that's like has this like collar around her neck so where she can't escape from like her mother and father, and you have to go and kill your mother and father and get the 2 keys for this collar to unlock it.
A lot of killing families.
It's like really good. It's like really good anime. It's like kind of what I'm getting from it. Like the story's really great, and the graphics look really cool, and yeah, it's been fun. So who knows? Maybe that might show up on my list at the end. I basically have most of my best games list put together. It's just kind of like I said earlier, is my middle name. It's kind of like the battle for the bottom. It's like who is number 10? Who is number 10 or number 9? And there's like about 10 games all fighting for that. Because yeah, this whole year was crazy for releases. So
as a Nintendo podcast, I have to admit a lot of things. Luckily, the things that cross over, I'm going to include.
Yeah.
If you can play them on both consoles.
Well, I think you need to, because who knows how well that game will be represented. Not that it's a bad game, I just didn't play it as much as I should. If I had more time, I would. I do want to jump back into it and try to play more of it. Whatever game that is that you're talking about, which I know what it is, but maybe the listeners don't. But yeah. But I think that's good for what I've been playing. There was like one news thing that happened right before we started talking. I think this is kind of interesting.
News. Don't snooze or you miss the news.
You talking about the step down?
The what?
Like,
Like
Bobby Kotick?
Bobby Kotick.
Oh no, we can talk about that too. No, I was talking about a little game called Super Mario Run. You remember that game? It's getting a Super Mario, as I said on the Slack, Super Mario Runder, because we're getting Mario Wonder and Super Mario Run for anybody who's playing it on your cell phone still.
Still, like
there's an update.
Like first,
there's a free
main
update.
IP. Yeah, Nintendo putting their main IP into mobile gaming, and they never did any. They never did Zelda. They never did Metroid. They were like, nope, we're done.
Well, I mean,
I guess Pikmin.
I was gonna say, don't forget they made a ton of money off of the Fire Emblem app. The Fire Emblem game that was on there, they made a shit ton.
But
of off that.
Is that first party?
Fire Emblem? I mean, well,
I think it was.
It's Intelligent Systems. Like they made the Paper Mario games. Like how more first party can you get there?
But I'm just thinking like Mario being like a very first party like Nintendo.
Sure, yeah.
Thing like we haven't seen any other mobile games that are like Zelda or Samus or you know what I mean. Like it's just like Mario Run was like we designed this game so you could play it with one hand while you eat a sandwich with the other or whatever.
or whatever else you're doing with that other hand. But yeah, Super Mario Run, I hadn't heard about it for so long. I don't even know if I
didn't even know it was still a thing.
I didn't even know if I had it on this phone or not, but yeah, there's a Wonder update that's going to be available through like March or something like that. So
which has been free to play for a while now, right?
Yeah. Oh wait, no, I thought we had to pay for it. Like,
they leaned heavily into it being like $10 for a while, and then eventually it became free to play.
Yeah, we did an episode about it whenever it came out, and yeah, it was like $10, but then you got everything. There was no like extra DLC or whatever you had to buy, and that was the idea because that was Nintendo trying to figure out like
how to navigate
mobile apps
on mobile.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Also joining it really late.
But it's going to be the Wonder version is available through March 14th of 2024. But I just thought it was like, yeah, Super Mario Run. Anybody remember that game? I sure don't.
So are things going to go touch fuzzy, get dizzy on the Mario Run?
I don't know. I think it's just going to have some new, just some new levels that are similar to Wonder, I guess.
I will probably not play it, but I would like to hear about it.
I don't play it, but you could. You can hop into Super Mario Run right now to enjoy a special Super Mario Bros. Wonder tie-in event for a limited time. Wonder flowers will bloom in courses in Toad Rally and friendly runs. To get one, perform certain actions like stomping enemies or vaulting. Grab it, and all coins will transform in that course and will turn into gold Goombas. I don't know. It's all stuff to do with the game. Yeah, I don't.
Sounds like some inside jokes I don't get.
I only play games on my phone if I got the backbone, you know. It's only when Sonic is involved, I guess. I don't know. A lot of people said a lot of shit about Dream Team. That's why I played that one. Did you ever play Heroes? Fire Emblem Heroes? Shake? Probably not, right?
No, I did not play Fire Emblem Heroes. The thing is, I didn't really do the mobile stuff. Like, I remember just because of my Nintendo fandom, I bought Mario Run. I also had, what was the first mobile game they came out with? The one with the Mii's and you kind
Miitomo?
of got
Miitomo.
Miitomo.
That game was
Yeah.
fun. That was a
I
lot of fun.
enjoyed Miitomo.
Oh, yeah. I talk about that a lot.
Yeah, we did
on
a
the
whole.
podcast.
I mean, we did
I
a
miss
couple.
it so much.
Yeah, we did a couple episodes about that. It was fun. I mean, yeah, that was probably the most I played. I mean, there were a couple mobile
It
apps
got
that
real
I played
stagnant
a decent
pretty
amount,
quick, and then
Yeah.
they abandoned it. Less than a year later or whatever.
but it was
It was
kinda,
cool while it
yeah.
lasted, and you could actually earn like the WarioWare game with your platinum points. That was pretty cool.
Wait, really?
Yeah, you could earn like this. Was it WarioWare Touch
Could you?
that you
On
could
Miitomo?
earn on your 3DS? Yeah. You got
Well,
it.
On your 3DS,
You bought it with your platinum points. Yeah.
But I mean, what does that have to
But-
do with Miitomo on your
I guess.
on your phone?
Well,
though?
Miitomo, it was like when they came out with platinum points. Like Miitomo was the first like app where you could like earn a bunch of points on your phone.
Oh,
Like,
okay.
like,
Oh, so you could use it. You're saying you could use it to buy games on your 3DS through it.
Yes, because
you-
you earn points through your Miitomo, and then you could buy. That was that game, and then there was the. I think it was Twilight Princess.
There was the Twilight Princess Picross. I have that as well.
Yeah, Picross.
Yeah.
That was it.
And there was the Pokemon one. I mean, I have all of those. I don't know how much I got from Miitomo, but yeah, we did use the platinum coins, or I think I called them silver coins earlier, but whatever they're called. You could use them to
They
get
sound like
to
they
get
should be the
actual
ultimate,
games.
but they're not. Gold actually is for some reason.
Well, the gold ones are the money ones, right?
Mm-hmm. That's where you get it's like a nickel for every dollar you spend, I think.
Yeah, I thought it was like
speaking-
5% or 10% or something like that.
Mm-hmm. That would be a nickel.
Something like that. Did you want to talk about the Bobby Kotick thing? I really haven't looked at it.
Not really, other than just to be like, well,
Fuck
hell
that guy.
yeah, but like the dude's getting to leave on his own terms, like he didn't get fired or whatever. So, like, I mean, good riddance, but dude's probably leaving, feeling pretty good about everything.
Yeah. I saw there was like a very small news thing about the Sega stuff that was announced during the Game Awards. It was pretty much
yes.
right? Pretty awesome, right? You saw that, right? That was one of the few things that
They
came
are-
out of Game Awards that was cool.
They are revitalizing all of their franchises. Jet Set Radio, Crazy Taxi, Golden Axe is now going to be a 3D action game. What else did they have? Oh, Shinobi is going to be
Yeah.
cell shaded or hand drawn 2D side scroller. That stuff was really exciting. Like I want to see how they reimagine these classic properties, and I think that they mentioned that they were gonna bring back others, like even Alex Kidd. I'm like, what? The original mascot is gonna have a comeback? I told you guys I was a Sega Master kid, so
Oh yeah. You had the Master System.
Yeah, Alex Kidd was the original mascot. You're right.
But I'm interested to see. Shinobi looks really cool. Like seeing the hand drawn animation, and I think that there have been so many games that have paid homage to Shinobi too over the years. So it'd be good to see like the game that kind of started it all. Well, Shinobi and Ninja Gaiden were around the same time, so
Yeah, I had a lot of fun. Well, I had a lot of fun with Shinobi 3. I think that was the one that was kind of the most available on Virtual Console and that sort of thing. And there was another, I don't remember the name. There's a Genesis cartridge that I have, which is pretty much like Shinobi 2, but more like 1. That was fun. But no, those are good. I'm excited to see Crazy Taxi coming back because I was a big Crazy Taxi fan. So I'm definitely there for that day one. And Jet Set Radio, that'll be great. Bomb Rush Cyberpunk came out this year that was inspired by that. That was supposedly really, really good. That was on Switch too. I don't know if you got to play that.
I haven't
Switch.
tried it.
Got to
I
play
didn't.
that, but
I wanted
heard it
to
was
get
good.
that.
Yeah, there was like a rush of games. It was like that and what was it? The Red Dead Redemption like came out around the same time. Like there was a whole bunch of like really good games that came out in like a week.
Oh, but before we even, there's also been a bunch of like really bad ports that have come to Switch recently. And I don't know if that's something, because this might be like, the year-end wrap up, but like, how in the world did Konami drop the ball on the Metal Gear Solid collection and
Oh
the
yeah.
port performance on Switch? Like, I don't understand, like, one, who's doing these port jobs, but also like, how are you porting 20-year-old games and you can't get them running at 60 frames per second?
I mean, that's kind of what
Like,
I was talking about earlier, right? Where they do this, where you do a port of like Tales of Symphonia and it doesn't run as well. Well, I guess they lost the source code of the GameCube version is what I heard, and it was based on the PS2 version. But also it's like, yeah, if you're releasing something so many years after this other version, but it doesn't run as well as this other version, like, what are you even doing? Like, just boggles my mind, like, why are you doing this to us?
Best Buy actually canceled my order of Batman, thankfully. So
Yeah,
I ended up lucking up.
I heard Arkham Knight doesn't run well at all, which is funny because they were originally going to put that on Wii U, and they were like, it doesn't work on Wii U. And then they tried it on Switch, and it doesn't work on Switch either. I thought maybe they figured out some new shit or whatever, but still doesn't work.
Again, like, I don't know what's happened. I don't know if like the companies that were doing the so-called impossible ports have just kind of moved on to the new generation of consoles, the Saber Interactives, all the guys that were doing like really quality stuff.
Saber did Mortal Kombat 1, which they did fix it. Like I said earlier, they did that recently this year. They did the port of Mortal Kombat 1 to Switch, which I think is pretty good right now. I mean,
I'll check it out. Like, I feel like once it gets to the right price point, I'll dive in. It's also like a huge game, isn't it?
Don't pay $70 for it. I got it for $40. I got it for $46 because I bought it on an auction on eBay physical, but I wanted to get it for $40. But don't pay $70 for it. It'll be on sale, whatever amount. But there is a lot of stuff to do with it, I mean, there's like was like a 10-hour story mode, which I thought was great. But there's also the invasion mode where they'll keep similar to Fortnite, they keep adding new seasons to it. Like I just turned it on the other day and I was on a whole other world that I hadn't been on before. So that's basically kind of like, it's sort of like a Mario Party, sort of top down. You're moving around a board, like you start out in Johnny Cage's mansion, and you do all these different fights that have different things that will happen to varying however you play. And then there's the arcade mode and all that. I don't know. I thought it was pretty decent on Switch once it got there.
No, I'm sure. Yeah, like I don't know. It's we're at this weird juncture in the Switch's life cycle. Well, we know this might be like the last holiday season of Switch, but also I just feel like the games are getting worse in terms of like the porting performance. Outside of like Nintendo in general, like I don't understand how a game like Tears of the Kingdom and Mario Wonder can come out with such polish in the same year that like Warner Brother launches, the Batman games that came out over 10 years ago, and it's not performing as well as it did on the PS3 or Xbox 360. Makes no sense.
The one that didn't perform was Arkham Knight, which was on PS4, which was on the later systems. But Arkham Asylum and Arkham City actually did perform well on Switch. The main one was Arkham Knight, which just didn't work, I guess. That's the broken one. Apparently the other two are pretty good. But the thing that sucks is that you have to buy all three of them. You can't just buy the two that are good. But the PS3 and 360 games were City and Asylum.
Well, I actually heard that, I can't remember who reviewed, I don't know which, was it Switch Up or maybe even IGN? I don't remember. Like, they were saying that one of the earlier games, it might have been a sequel. So what was the first one? It was Arkham Knight, then Arkham Asylum, right?
Arkham Asylum was the first one, and then it was Arkham City. Okay, so Arkham City was the second one, and Arkham Knight was the third one. The third one was on PS4, Xbox One.
So what they're saying is that Arkham Knight runs well.
Oh no,
but somehow
that was the one
I
that
mean
I heard
Arkham City.
ran terribly. Yeah.
No, I'm sorry. Arkham City runs well. Arkham City runs well. Arkham Knight still has performance issues.
Yeah. Yeah, because Arkham Knight was a PS4 game. That was why it
Yeah.
didn't work as well. Yeah, no, I heard I watched Switch Up on the regular, and I remember the first one they did was the review of Arkham Knight, and I remember them saying that the other ones worked fine, but Arkham Knight was pretty much unplayable.
Yeah, it's
with the Batmobile stuff where you drive around.
Oh, they said it gets to, like, legit gets down to 0 frames per second.
Yeah. Well, I remember, like I said, I remember reading an interview with Rocksteady, right? Rocksteady, this is the people who did it, talking about trying to bring Arkham Knight to Wii U because Arkham Origins, which why was that not in there? Also, speaking of Arkham Collection. Where's Origins at? Like, people said that game was great. Anyway, Origins was on Wii U, and it was done really well. It had, like, extra shit you could do on the pad or whatever. There was, like, a special Batman Wii U suit that wasn't on the other games or whatever. And I remember reading an article from them where they said they tried to get Arkham Knight on Wii U because Origins sold fairly well because it came out at the very beginning. And they said, like, once you got into the Batmobile, everything was broken. And here it is again. Everything broke again with the Batmobile on the Switch. You know
what it is? It wasn't optimized. They're using the exact same source code that they did from then and just said, hey, we're going to put it out. Like, that's probably what happens.
Maybe so. I remember reading that. I was like, we really tried to, but it just, everything fell apart. And that's why I was really curious about this version on Switch, but then seems to be the exact same way it was before on Wii U. So, but they knew it was bad, so they didn't release it. But this one, a lot more people got Switches than Wii U, so why not, throw it out there?
Yeah, I think that speaks to the larger issue that, like, I think, again, we get it. The Switch hardware is old, and I'm not a software engineer. I'm not a game developer. But what I can say just from deductive reasoning and fucking logic is that, like, they're not taking the time to optimize the games on Switch. Not when we have games that perform really well, that, you know what I'm saying? Like, fully immersive 3D worlds, large scale games. When you think about the stuff that Monolith Soft does, when you think about what Nintendo does just with their first party titles, and that's not to say that they're exempt. There are times where, like, but I think that they know how to maximize and get the most out of the systems. And I think that, like, oftentimes these companies just at a certain point, they just don't care. And that kind of hurts my heart. Especially when it's a game, when it's a port of a game. Like, I don't expect a PS4 game or a Switch game to be comparable to a PS4, Xbox One game in terms of, like, performance. But you can't tell me that, like, it can't run a 360 PS3 era game flawlessly.
I would agree.
Yeah, it should. Yeah, because they're on the same level. But it makes me even sadder when you can't run a GameCube game. I was saying, yeah, like Tales of Symphonia ran at 60 frames per second on GameCube.
I mean, go back to the Wii U and
it's on 30 on Switch.
NES games, right? So
what?
Like
the Wii U couldn't run NES games, right? Like,
I guess, yeah. Well, yeah, technically, yeah, like the display and all that, was different. I didn't really notice that as much. I don't know. I don't really notice frame rates either.
The colors were a lot more muted, I hear.
Oh, yeah, sure.
It just was not like an accurate display of what it used to look like.
And they would always mute the, I've said this before, they would always mute the magic spells that you would do on a Super Mario RPG because of, seizure stuff.
Resources, yeah.
That's why they didn't. When they re-released it on Virtual Console. They actually all of the flashy stuff was darkened. It was, like, much darker when you saw it. So because of that, because of epilepsy sort of thing. So, but yeah, is there? I don't know. Is there anything else anybody else wants to say here? I feel like we've.
I do want to share one thing.
Go for it.
Which is Amiibo collectors. You can rejoice. You don't have to resort to scalpers anymore. There's lots of restocks happening.
Okay.
Earlier today, Best Buy had pre-orders up for re-releases of Terry, Joker, Banjo.
Terry.
Yep, at retail price, and also Art Swift is now the go-to place for amiibo. Like any out-of-print amiibo, they sell basically all of the amiibo that you might have missed from all of the collections. A little bit above premium. I mean, a little bit above MSRP, but they're like $20 plus whatever additional shipping. So like, I've been perusing Art Swift for a minute. The what I've seen in the Reddit, in the subreddit for Amiibo, everyone is posting their pictures from Art Swift, all of their purchases. Like they have, like if you've missed anything, you can get it on Art Swift, and it's pretty dope. The prices are reasonable. Like, as opposed to $16, it might be $20, but I don't mind spending, $3 or $4 more for the amiibo that I thought I would never get a chance to get.
Yeah, for sure. The one,
And I just learned about Art Swift.
yeah, I don't know. Yeah, the main one I was really sad that I didn't get was Terry Bogard because I thought I had it, but I think I missed it because I think it came out in the 2020 times or something. And I just didn't find it or didn't have the money for it or whatever. Because I was a big fan of Fatal Fury and King of Fighters and then those type of games, and I was sad that I didn't have it. And that's one that I was like, man, I wish I could get that one, but it's very expensive now.
Yeah, I mean, it still might be up on Best Buy. It was up earlier. It was definitely up earlier. That Joker Banjo. I'm actually hoping that with the re-release of, not the re-release, with the upcoming release of the Xenoblade 3 amiibo, that they also do a reprint of Pithra and Myra from
Oh
Smash.
yeah. No, that was another one that I missed. I just forgot. I just totally forgot about it, and then it was really expensive. But I do have Noah and Mio reserved from Xenoblade 3, so I haven't gotten it yet, but I did get a reservation from that. I don't remember. I think it was maybe through GameStop or somewhere.
Yeah, that might be a GameStop exclusive, but so it's funny. Like for me, the benefit of living in New York is I can go to Nintendo New York and they'll have it.
Yeah, right. Yeah. No, we went
Nice.
there. Yeah, we went there one time, long ass time ago. It was back before we knew that J.K. Rowling was a terrible person, because we went because my wife and I went to go see whatever the Harry Potter whatever that the newest play, the son of whatever it is, the newest one.
Thanos.
Which I actually liked the play. That was before I knew that J.K. Rowling was an awful person. But yeah, we went there and we went to the Nintendo eShop no, not the eShop. That we went to the actual Nintendo store, and I'd made a video of it. You can find it on our YouTube if you want to check it out. Where I went and filmed all the amiibos and whatnot. Amiibo. But it's nice to be very close to that because yeah, they got a ton of shit there. And yeah, it was I think was my wife's one of their best friends got me some Monster Hunter stuff from there while they were there. Because I hadn't. Oh yeah, no, there it is. Well, no, it says I just went on Best Buy right now and I saw Terry Bogard and it says coming soon. It says I can't do it yet. But yeah, it has it down for $16, which is way cheaper than what it would be from everywhere else. So I'm like, hey, there's fucking Terry Bogard. Yeah, I want that amiibo. Let's do it.
Listen, Nintendo, they're doing these amiibo reprints all like over the globe. I'm just like, I don't know if it's just shelf space that's preventing it from coming to the US, but like there's like I have a bunch of amiibo. I have well over 100 from various lines. Like I have all of the Zelda line. I have most of the Splatoon line, most of the Animal Crossing line. I have a good number of the Smash line, but I'm probably missing about 20 of them.
Yeah, no, you have the Monster Hunter Stories ones, right? The only Japan ones.
Well, I don't have the whole set. I have 3 of them, so I'm missing the character that's on the Rathian, which is probably the hardest to get. And I've seen that going for like damn near $300 on eBay. I'm like, I'm not doing that. And I have one of the Rathalos. Like, I don't know if I have the Rathalos boy or girl. I have to double check. But at this point, I've also like committed myself to like, I'm just gonna open all my amiibo because I have many of them I like out of the box, but then I have like a bunch that are still in box. And I'm like, what am I doing?
Yeah, I've opened them all too. Well, it was kind of a running joke with this show where we would open it and then you would hear the audio of me like tearing it apart or whatever.
Do you have the Mario cereal?
No, I didn't get the Mario cereal.
Oh, we gotta hook you up.
It's right over here.
Yes.
It's right here. This is the Mario cereal, unopened, right there, right in between the
Send your
TVs.
address to the Discord or whatever. We'll get you one of those.
Yeah, John bought a ton of them, which obviously
I have a bunch of extras too.
obviously John's not here because he's still working on a movie. But
I have like 5 or 6 extras still.
Wow, that's hilarious. That's
So if you want
hilarious.
one, you got it.
Listen, I would appreciate
It's
that.
an amiibo.
yeah, John.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can scan it. You can scan it too, like on your system and all that. It's because I guess it's in the cardboard or something. You can scan it. Yeah.
NFC, that's hilarious. Yeah, I'm a big amiibo guy. I think at some point, especially if I move into a bigger space, I'm gonna do like all of the toy collectors and get a couple detolf shelves like they all show on YouTube. Like all the action figure collectors, they all have their detolfs for whether it's their Marvel Legends or
Yeah,
their.
I got to figure out something like that here because I actually have a couple boxes that is just amiibo that we have not found a place to put yet because we don't have, I mean, we were going to get shelves because my wife and I, we both got a bunch of toys that aren't out yet. So,
Hold on, I'm coming.
so we were,
So
so we were
I'm sorry,
we were trying to get that together, but I do, since we just moved a couple months ago, there are still boxes that I have that have toys and amiibo and all that in there.
So people have often asked, and like I find some cool stuff on Etsy from time to time. And there is this dude that does these 3D printed amiibo kind of stands. And it actually changed the way I thought about amiibo. It made me go even crazier. And I kind of set my amiibo up. And although I don't have many of them on display, like you can have 4 in a,
Oh, there you go.
It's like-
cool.
So it's got like
thing.
steps, and what for anybody? This is for the audio only. This is the Tears of the Kingdom. Oh, we have the Tears of the Kingdom Zelda, and we also have the Breath of the Wild
Breath of the
one
Wild, yeah.
as well. Well,
Yeah.
Tears of the Kingdom on one side and Breath of the Wild
Yeah, I
on
see
the
that.
other. But you have the little steps, and we even got the Guardian. Yeah, no, those look really good. Yeah, and you got a Link with the hand out, and the sexy Ganondorf, and all those different ones going on there. The Moblin in the front, whatever. Yeah, it looks good.
Yeah, so-
I mean, that
Looks
creates a
real good.
lot of there's a lot more like to say about how they're like space. They're not just like crammed together on the same plane. They're kind of like
Yeah, like
I don't know. It's more of a dynamic display. It's cool.
and listen, I get really caught up because I'll switch them out. Like I have a bunch of these, and I've posted them on the YouTube and the shorts, right? Like I have like different Zelda ones, and I did a video on the Splatoon ones, and I think that like when you see them together in this way, where there's kind of like space, it starts to look a little cooler to me. But I just love seeing amiibo together in general. I think I took for granted at first how dope it was to just kind of have like these Nintendo figurines because they never made anything like that. Like, they definitely have like the Jack's Pacific toys. But I love these amiibo. And I love these little whatchamacallits, these little amiibo stands. I can't remember the name of the seller. I know that the stands are about like,
Is it rose colored gaming?
is it Rose Colored Gaming?
They do a lot of acrylic stands. Like I don't know if it would be. They do.
I don't think it's
amiibos
Rose
too.
Colored Gaming. In fact,
The amiibo have really come a long way from when they started. From like the P stand Link and all of those. Like the really Link with the big yellow like thing. I mean I was impressed. I was like, oh cool, Nintendo toys.
More like a Peebo.
You don't see a lot of those, but I mean they look really nice. Yeah, no, I would always buy one if I could find one, and getting the big man up there. I think Sonic's over there. Sonic's in the middle there.
no, it is from Acquired Artifacts on Etsy. It's the Acquired Artifacts, and the stands come in different colors. They're $14 a pop. Each one holds 4
Cool.
amiibo. So for the price of an amiibo, you can get a cool little stand that'll hold 4.
Oh, nice.
They've got different colors. So like if you wanted to do a theme by set, they've got like white, gold, purple, green, yellow, like all sorts of stuff. I found that it's a really dope way to kind of display amiibo. And I hope at some point one day I can kind of have all my amiibo
Spread them out.
on display. Yeah, I have grandiose visions for a very curated Nintendo space in my home.
Hell yeah.
Definitely. Yeah, for
You
sure.
know?
Yeah, definitely
Uh,
check out those links.
yeah.
For sure.
Actually, I want to get the Piranha Plant Lego set.
I do too.
Oh yeah,
So bad.
Jeremy tried to do that, but you ended up with the Audrey one instead, right? he ended up with with the different
I
one.
I never actually finished it. It
Yeah.
was the not controls. Same talking like it's a video game.
I was gonna
The instructions confused me at a certain point, and I ended up like
those instructions can be really fucking weird. Actually, Jess and I
Lego
we
Lego
got this
fine,
Lego one.
This is not Lego.
Well, we got this one that's Lego, but it's kind of off-brand Lego, like from this Japanese company, and some of them are like, "What is that? What color is that?" I don't know. And even the Lego ones can be a little confusing. But yeah, we put together a bunch of Lego stuff, and there was this one that was it was really cool. It was like this little Japanese like ramen house that we built, but it was like, yeah, the instructions are real confusing. It's like, wait, is this that or is this? Like the way it's kind of hard to get into.
Yeah, I want the Lego Piranha Plant, but I'm worried like it's one of those things you just have to like be ready to buy it when it goes on sale or whatever.
Yeah. I was gonna say like the Animal Crossing ones. I would have totally bought those this year.
Do you know much about that Shake? Like, or is it?
But
just
they're
one of
coming
those
out next
things
year.
Kind of like.
Honestly, I
Keeping your eye
don't know.
on.
I do not know. And I think it's gonna get nutty.
Probably.
Yeah. I still I want to invest in the other Nintendo Lego sets that they have, not the Mario line, but like the Puppet Bowser, which looks massive, and that's awesome. But that's basically the same price as a Switch. And the same with the NES
Lego sets are expensive. Like Legos are incredibly expensive, even when they're not that big. They're still like $100, and it's just like it's only like this big.
They're kind of getting like treated like the new model, like people used to like model kits.
And there's a
they
lot.
still do
There's
for
a
like
lot of
Gundam
them
and stuff, but
one other thing, like Black Friday, you can see some really cool deals on Legos. Like I actually got some real cheap Legos for Christmas one year at like Target. They were like half off, so sometimes you can get deals on them, that sort of thing. But I was really interested in those Animal Crossing ones, and I would have got them this year if they came out, but they're not coming out till next year. So, but there are some some cool ones on there. But I think we're about at the limit here. But thank you so much for being on the show, Shake. I always love,
it was great to see you, Shake.
I always love talking to you about all the games you're into and all that sort of thing. And do you want to let everybody know where they can find you on the internet?
Yes, please. Well, first off, thank you guys for having me as always. It's a pleasure. I love hanging out with you guys. I love talking Nintendo and sharing in our fandom. Happy holidays to everyone that's celebrating, whether Xmas, Hanukkah, whatever it is. Cheers to you. Happy holidays to your loved ones and all that good stuff. And you can find me at Wagglefest Gaming on YouTube. I'm Wagglefest on Twitter too. And I do have a Wagglefest Facebook page that I have not done anything with. But yeah, but again, thank you guys for having me as always, because it's always a good time. I love talking about all things Nintendo and waxing poetic about random video game musings.
For sure.
For real. And you always like have the tips. You always like put us on a like
about
to look to find things
about like art. Yeah, hadn't even heard of Art Swift. Hadn't even heard of Deco deals before that. And now I look at Deco deals pretty often. No, I like how they, like how they tell you, like it's like it has been this low before. It's the lowest it's ever been. Like, I mean, they helped me throw more money to Nintendo by being like, hey, this. Check it out.
I'm a frugal gamer. And I think that like Deku deals I'm addicted to. And it's like, when there's first party games that I'm really excited about, I will absolutely pull the trigger. When there's third party games that I'm absolutely, but then there's those games it's like I'm on the fence about, but once it gets under a certain threshold on Deku deals, I'm like pulling the trigger immediately.
Yep.
Like
that was the same. That was the way I was about Sonic Frontiers last year. That was about how I was about Mortal Kombat 1 this year. It's basically every time I'm waiting for a thing, it still like ends up being like one of my favorite things of the year. So whatever. I felt the same way about Frontiers. I was like, I'm gonna wait till it's $30, and then I got it for $30, and then I loved it. So, but yeah, no, it's always a pleasure to have you here. And if you want to find us on the internet, you can find Jeremy and I on Twitter at Nintendo_domain.
Which is currently down.
Is it down? No, I just looked at it.
It is not
earlier.
working right now.
Oh, I'm on it right now on my phone. It's right here.
Well, currently, last I checked, it was not working.
Oh, I used it to find the Mario Run thing earlier. You can find us on Twitter at Nintendo_domain and at JMaxStack. And also, I talked a bunch about my top 5 best games that I beat of the year, but go to superggradio.com and find that. And also, if either of you are interested in writing your top whatevers, you can. Let me know. I'll connect you with Alex. And
is there a
Joel
prompt, or is it just write about your...
You can write whatever
stuff.
you want. Just write a top 5 something. Didn't have to
So
come
it
out.
is a top 5. That is the
Well,
prompt.
no. It can be a top 10. Other people did top 10s.
What about top 3?
You can do whatever you want. They just want you to write something and send it to them. But no, ask Alex about it. Or if you want to do it, Shake, let me know. I will hook you up with the people that are doing it. They're just looking for more, more cool lists and all that stuff. It's probably the most likes I've gotten of a Facebook post ever. And I wonder if people are actually reading it. But hopefully you are, because I said some cool things about AW Fight Forever.
I didn't. I'm just kidding. I read it.
No, I was saying I don't think anybody read it. But I liked it. I thought it was good. You might see it again when I do my top best games of the year video. I'll probably use that same script in there. But, whatever. If you want to hear more of us, go to patreon.com/NintenDomain podcast. And for only $1, you can hear our bonus episodes. We just put up one where we talk about what were the games that made us buy non-Nintendo systems. So we talk about stuff that got us into PlayStation 3 to Arduboy, all sorts of different things. And there's maybe one Nintendo thing on there, but it was like a killer app episode. We talked about all the shit that And if you're on the $5 level, you can listen to the WART radio, which I just put up a couple days ago, and that Valencia Princess Mystique song is still in my head. So listen to that because it's really good. It's from Air Twister, which was an awesome fucking game, which was made by the guy who did Shenmue. Check it out. It's on Switch. But yeah, thanks everybody for listening. And actually, we're going to take a week off, and we'll be back. We won't be here next week, but the week after, we'll come back and do our best games of the year when it's actually 2024. So we have enough time to put the list together and all that. So be prepared for that. But we've been your hosts. I'm Trey Johnson.
I'm Jerry Bukowski.
And special guest.
Shake.
And thanks everybody for listening. We'll see you next year.
See you in 2024.
Peace.
Yeah.